Okay, I think we're live. Hello, everyone who's watching this. I am so sorry. My name is Lloyd, and this is my second playthrough of 7C, the Search for Libertalia. Now I have 4 players because I love suffering, and I'd like them to introduce themselves, starting from my far left and working my way down. Starting off, I would like to ask Dan to introduce his character.
Hey, so I'm Dan and I'm playing Ennio Vespucci, the Master Swordsman. Um, sort of an Inigo Montoya kind of character.
I have Ian.
Hi everyone, Whitey here. I will be playing Azucena Esquivel, or Ezzy for short. Female piratess, assassin by trade. Sorry, bodyguard. My mistake. Yeah, it was just along for the ride, and who doesn't like wearing dresses? Thank you.
We have who's next? John.
Hi, I'm John, and I'll be playing Roberto Gallo, the overconfident Castellan swashbuckler.
And finally, we have Ren.
Yeah, I'm Ren, and I'm playing Alexei Nowak, because I have no idea how to pronounce that middle name. And I am Prince.
All right, so just a recap for those of you who've not watched the first one, and are somehow, for some unexplained reason, watching the second one. The party are looking for a map that will lead them to La Libertalia, a place where Juan, hold on, let me get his name right. Juan Vessia, a dreaded pirate captain, holds the most of his loot. The reason why is because a wedding that was supposed to take place between, I can never get the names right, Alexei and his betrothed, did not take place because he came in and destroyed the entire area. Now the party will try and use some method to get back at them by going in, getting his gold, and either using the resources to stop him or using it as leverage to get back their charges. At the end of last session, Leah, the person that was supposed to have the map, revealed that she had no idea what the men were talking about, but she knew where to get it. On a special island in the Death Ocean, what's called Murder de Mer, which is a section part of Thea where all the badass pirates of badassitude all go down. But this part of the session doesn't take place there per se. This part of the session takes place a few days before they actually manage to land on port. We're going to cut straight to the ship and to the crew, which is both AZ, Roberto, and Enno, as they hear a "Man overboard! Man overboard!"
Clutching my side from my exertions recently, I will hobble over towards the nearest side of the ship.
Yeah, likewise, I'll rush over to sort of like look over the side and see if we can spot this poor person who's fallen into the water.
There is a thick fog that's running across the waters as you make your way to what's called Ocean de Mer, which is surrounded by fog. It's one of those places that you don't tend to sail to unless you know where you're going. Inside the fog, on a small little longboat, lies a man, shriveled up, just clutching onto an oar, passed out.
That's something you don't see every day. Someone grab a rope.
I don't think we've got time for that, and my plan is just to like leap over the side and swim to the small boat that he's in.
Yeah, no sweat whatsoever. You just like you head first dive in. Don't worry about getting weapons. Well, that shit. That's for boring people. Swim on over, pull yourself up, and you see the body of Alexei Nowak, the prince who you had come in to actually get married to, your charge lady, shriveled up like in a little cold little fetal ball, passed out and shaking, probably from hypothermia or something. I don't know.
Right. Okay. Well, I'm despite my many talents, I'm no man of medicine, so I'm going to sort of take the oar, try and paddle the small boat as near to our ship as possible. And I'll be like, "Throw me a rope down!"
As he goes to say that, the rope just sort of lands next to him.
My plan is basically just see if I can like tie it under this unconscious guy's like arms like a harness, so they can like pull him up.
Just to save scene time, we're gonna cut straight to a little bit later in the day. The prince has been brought inside and laid on a bed of your choosing, and he's slowly starting to come to.
I've made sure that he hasn't got any weapons.
He has none.
Right.
Before the prince comes to, though, I better tell him what happened to him. So, Prince Enno, just so you're not left out of the loop, you were due to marry a beautiful woman from the... Oh, I know I gotta find the kind of name for this character. Where the hell did I put it? You're supposed to marry the beautiful Dominica Vespucci, a lady from the Vespucci family, which is supposed to bring your two families together, cause some kind of like strong bond amongst each other. The day before the wedding, you had sent your men and also some of her men as well off into town while you had spent the day preparing yourself both mentally and physically for the wedding before. That was until the town that you were in was horribly attacked by pirates. You put up a good fight, did the best you could, but when you faced the dreaded Ewan himself in battle, he took the better of you and took you as a slave. They brought you onto the ship, they threw you down to the docks, and they put you into irons. It's taken you a good 2 days to work out the irons from your arm and escape from the boat into one of the leftover lifeboats that was left on them. You've been drifting for about maybe 12 hours. But fortunately for you, you've just found some kind of safety. You know full well that the reason why all this happened is because your wife, or your wife-to-be, Dominica Vespucci, has been taken by him to become his wife. And that's all you know. As you wake up.
He sort of looks around and tries to take stock of where he's ended up. Does he actually know anyone here?
Yes, you know full well that Enno, who is played by Dan, is the brother of Dominica, whom you're meant to marry. Roberto is a Castilian captain, and so is Azulena, and they're both part of your bodyguard crew.
Oh, so...
Roberto was more for Enno and Domicia, and Azuzena was mostly for you, as your own personal bodyguard.
So we recognize him, or does he know of us, or know of me?
Yep, he knows. Everyone knows everyone.
Oh, okay. Then I probably wouldn't have taken weapons away from him or something like that. I was going to be holding my sword to your throat, but if I know who he is,
well, maybe you took moved the weapons away a bit because he was thrashing about in his sleep. You didn't want him to injure himself.
Yeah.
Possibly.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Taking up a spot of fishing, were you, Alexei?
I'm afraid I've mostly been used as bait. Thankfully, no sharks seem to have gotten a hold of me. Thank you for fishing me out. I don't know how long I was adrift for. Half a day at least.
Prince Alexei, do you have any news of my lady Dominica?
Unfortunately, she's been taken by...
Juan.
Who?
Juan.
Juan. Taken by Juan to be his bride, and unfortunately it was all I could do to escape from his clutches and make my way, well, here, luckily, as luck would have it. I guess we need to start heading back towards the ship I escaped from, if eyes are okay with all of you.
Is there no end to the impudence of that pirate villain? As though a high-born lady like Lady Dominica would be interested in a bottom-feeding, salt-caked pirate of the seas like him. The very idea of it.
Well said.
He is going to win. If he doesn't end tonight, it's going to be the next night. That he's going to find himself with a blade in his back.
At the bottom of the sea where he belongs. Feeding.
Still, if you've been adrift for some time, Prince, then I'm hazarding a guess that you won't know the exact location of the ship. After all, it will have presumably continued in its course unless you know where it was heading.
Do I know where it was heading?
Why don't you try and tell me? I think this is definitely called for a risk to see what you actually know.
Okay.
So here's how risks work. First things first, you tell me what your approach is, what you want to do in the scene. So tell me that.
I want to try and recall if I had overheard anyone talking about the destination of the ship I was on.
I think that's perfectly fair. So I would say that would use your wits. So whatever, how many black that is, that's two d10s for you, I think. And also
3.
Oh, 3. Oh, never mind.
Yeah.
3 d10s. I'm reading one character sheet. And what other skills do you have that would apply for this? No tactics. I think that's perfectly fair.
Okay.
All right. So this is how the game works when it comes to these things. First things first, I'll tell you what your approach is. You're gonna find out what it is. Oh, once you finish rolling, let's roll your dice first and I'll explain what to do. So take your dice.
Okay.
Roll that many d10s first.
So it's 3 plus the 3 from no
Tactics.
So 6 altogether? Okay.
Yes.
Bad roll.
Okay, so now are you ready for the complicated bit, Ren? Here we go, because you're my scapegoat, because none of the other guys can remember how this works. Add up as many of your dice together separately as you can to form 10.
Okay.
So you take the 4 and the 6, you put them aside, that'll be 10. That's 1 raise. Then you take the 9 and the 4, you put them aside, that's 2 raises. Then you take the 8 and the 8, you put aside, that's 3 raises. See what I mean?
Yeah.
And try to use up as many dice as you can to make raises.
Well, yeah, I guess you already done it for me. It's free, I assume.
That's probably fair. So, now here, every single time you roll dice, you have a risk, which is the action you want to take, a consequence, which is things that will happen because of the action you've taken, and sometimes an opportunity. To succeed in what you want to do will cost you 1 raise. It means you will definitely remember where the ship was heading. 100%, you know when to stop. The consequences, in this case, will cost you 2 raises to remove, which is you will also realize, no, you will not realize that the ship is specifically looking for you. And as such, you will definitely not be like trying to put yourself in hiding when you get to where the ship is. And the opportunity, which will cost you 1 raise, will be that you will get to the location of the ship before the ship does. It's up to you to buy whichever one of these you want.
Do I care that they're looking for me? I don't know. I'm a prince. I probably have a little bit of arrogance about me, so probably not. So I guess I will buy the what was it? The advantage?
The opportunity.
The opportunity. Yeah, but I'll have 1 raise left.
You can always spend it into the consequence to make it less harsh.
Okay.
So even though they're looking for you, they won't spot you as soon as you walk off the ship.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds fine.
Okay, so you know from what they were speaking that they were also heading towards the Death Ocean, Murder de Mer. There was going to be some kind of like encampment somewhere near there that they were going to try and take a break at.
Okay, so
one that they call Passe Perdita, the Silver Pass. It is a stretch of land which like lies like a small little stretch of islands which has like a whole bunch of pirate shops and taverns and stuff stretched along it. And it's known as that way because when the sun comes up in the morning, instead of it being red, it gives the water some kind of like silvery sheen.
Okay. Well, I'll pass the location of the Silver Pass on to the other members of the group. Yes, they're heading into the Death Ocean, a place called the Silver Pass. It seems to be an encampment of some kind for pirate types.
Well then, with your leave, Prince, I suggested we immediately make all speed to try and get there and give them a damn good thrashing.
Sounds perfect, Captain.
Splendid. I'll go and tell the men to raise the sails and we'll be underway. And I'll sort of stalk straight out of the room and I'm like, "You there, man! Hoist the sails!"
As the boisterous captain heads out, I just step a little closer to Alexei and just go, "What? Was my sister okay the last time you saw her?"
I believe she was. I have to ask Lloyd. Was she? Yeah, was she?
Who's this Lloyd?
Yeah.
You're pretty certain she was okay because she's meant to marry him, but you're pretty certain she's not okay with that idea.
Oh yeah. No, she's not happy with her current location, of course, but they're keeping her safe.
Right. Well, they won't be safe for much longer.
No, especially if she's able to get a hold of him herself. She did seem quite angry.
Yeah, you don't want to be on the bad side of my sister.
Yes, I'm sure I'll find out for myself.
Wow.
Alright, while you guys are up there, Leah walks into the door and she looks at you and then she gives you a bow. And she goes, "It's a pleasure to meet you, Prince Alexei. I am Leah."
Yes, a pleasure, Leah.
As with you, I believe our plan is still in order of what we're going to do when we get to the Murder de Mer. She says to the rest of the party, of course.
What? You know the whereabouts of the map?
Well, I know about of a map, not the map. I don't know what the map are looking for, but I know the map that people use to find a Libertalia in order to get there to try and take the treasure, which is probably going to get everyone killed. She says, rolling her eyes.
And that's a minor detail. The map comes first.
Alright, so she goes, at Silver Pass, and pretty much in 2 days' time, there's an auction. It's happening in the point where I think they're going to be giving up a whole bunch of piratey items of like ill repute and everything like that. And one of the things that has been put onto the auction is a map to Libertalia. At least a part of the map to Libertalia.
A pirate auction.
Yes.
They must. I wonder how they keep control of that. With all the.
Well, you haven't seen the freebooters. That's why you're saying that. In Silver Pass, there is a. She sort of pauses as I swallows quickly. There is a militia of sorts of common men who consider themselves to be free men, the freebooters, who take upon themselves to run the neighborhood and keep things sort of afresh. And it's one of the very few places that pirates can come to and not have to fear being stabbed in the back by a fellow man. That's why things tend to happen in the Silver Pass. As long as you don't mess up with the freebooters, they won't mind whatever you do. And if you do want to do something outside of the freebooters' jurisdiction, as long as you pay them some money, you're welcome to it. It's a pirate thing. I don't know. I'm not really. I just steal purses for a living. Okay, I don't know.
Well, we might have need of that. Because I don't know if we have enough wealth for an auction between us.
We'll figure it out. You boys do the hard stuff. I'll just look pretty. It's easy.
When she says that, I look over to see if Ezzy's about and still in that dress.
Wait, hold on. Where's Ian gone?
Yeah. As he must have heard the
Couple
comments about
problems.
the dress and has stormed off.
Yeah. Bitch. Well, yeah, she does look prettier than me, but beauty isn't everything.
That is true.
Being able to
So-
gut a man from throat to belly is quite an accomplishment, in my opinion, rather than beauty.
Some people find that very alluring, I'm sure.
Incidentally, my prince, I do apologise for not being with you when you were taken, and as such, I shall not leave you again and let you out of my sight again. After all, it is my job to protect you.
It's understandable. The attack came quite swiftly, and we were unprepared. So do not worry yourself too much.
I'm glad to see you well, physically.
Yes, I'll be much better when I'm into some dry clothes, I think.
All right, so you have 3 ships. 1 being your own, 2 being those of Redbeard, who you beat and threw into the bottom of the ocean. Who's probably dead by now. Yep, definitely dead by now.
Of course he is.
Absolutely dead by now. No problem whatsoever. Yep, definitely dead.
Definitely dead.
100%.
Jean Grey dead.
Jean Grey dead. Jean Grey dead. What is your plan for putting Silver Pass and the auction?
I'll sort of walk back in and I'll be like, it occurs to me, my friends, remind me, what state of play were we in with the captains of the other 2 vessels? 'Cause it seems to me it wouldn't be right to have a person of the prince's stature sail under a mere captain like myself. As such, I'll understand if you wish to take charge of this vessel, Prince. I will be happy to advise. The noble Gallo family have always supported the right of the nobles to rule, so I'll entirely understand if you wish to take charge of this vessel.
I don't wish to relieve you of the command of your own ship, Captain. I'm perfectly happy to ride aboard as a passenger till we arrive at our destination.
Well, then it occurs to me, shipmates, that besides the prince here, there are 3 of us who have experience in sailing matters, etc. And we have 3 ships. I'm sure you can see where I'm going with this.
Well, we have. Was it the Lady of the Sea, your original ship? We have this one we've
Yes.
claimed from Redbeard, and then the pirates, the ex-pirates of. What was the guys? What was the ship? Master's
For what's called for Murder de Mer, run by Ezio Clark.
Ezio Clark. That was it. Ezio Clark and his crew took the other. I don't know if they're. I mean, we might not have talked to him in a little while. They might be fairly attached to their ship or not willing to give it up. I'm not sure what they're planning to do with it. If they're planning to stay, or maybe they're going to go carousing now they have a ship.
Perhaps we should invite the captains of the other 2 vessels to come aboard the Lady of the Sea, and we can outline our plan. And if they wish to throw in their lots with us, they can do so. After all, they did help us against that rapscallion Redbeard.
Yeah, perhaps if you make a convincing argument, they may well join us.
Well, yeah, I can be fairly convincing, Ennio, when I put my mind to it.
Absolutely.
So you're inviting the other captains on the board?
Yep. Get them in the get us all sat around like the sort of table with the charts on, etc., in like the captain's cabin, and give them like a brief outline of what we're planning to do.
Okay, so the 2 captains, one being Ezio Clark, who was the mayor of Murder de Mer, and the second one being Angelo Castillo, who was one of the quartermasters who used to work on putting that big ass gun onto your ship. Both come on board. Now no longer wearing their normal clothes that they used to before. There's like sashes and like belts upon belts, like guns put into places, like a bandana on one of them and an eye patch. And you're pretty sure Angelo was not blind in one eye when you last saw him.
Got him in, he pulls it off well.
She looks, they've got a pirate look. And both of them sort of like come in and they slander onto the chair. Ezio's a much smaller guy. He's fairly short. He's very tiny, but he's built like a brick shit house. And he sort of leans back in. Whereas Angelo's a tall, large, like robust, round man with like a really wicked grin and like a rugged beard who sits to the right of him. And they're like, "All right, boys."
Good day to you, captains, and I'll sort of indicate like a few bottles of like rum that I've arranged to be on the desk.
It's just like, "I don't mind if I do, thank you very much." And he pours himself one, and he graciously, because you can't hurt what you are, pours one for Angelo as well, who takes in the hand and like chinks with him. And they go, "So what? What's the plan?"
Well, we've managed to recover His Majesty Prince Alexei here,
No
and
way.
indeed, and I'll sort of bow low and indicate to the prince.
Yeah. Alexei just nods.
He had a
Angelo-
rough stag, and we found him floating.
Angelo grabs the bottle of rum, corks it, and chucks it towards the prince. Like, here, put hairs on your chest.
Okay. I'll sort of Alexei will sort of catch it and take a swig.
This is good shit.
Yes, Captains Ezio and Angelo. This is Prince Alexei, Captains Ezio and Angelo, who were instrumental in helping us defeat the feared pirate Redbeard.
Don't worry about it. It was like good old times.
Indeed, your health, gentlemen.
And to yours.
Right, as I was saying, we believe that the feared pirate Juan Vessia has kidnapped the proposed of Prince Alexei and is currently making his way towards the Silver Pass. Apparently, according to our sources, I'll indicate Leerich is there is to be an auction held, one part of which is a section of a map to La Liberteria, which we believe Juan is eager to obtain. It's our plan that we go there, obtain this map if we can, and give Juan a damn good thrashing and rescue the Lady Dominique.
I can back that up. Ezio gets up and sort of looks towards you, Enno, and he's like, your father is who graced me with my land, and the beautiful woman I am married, and the children I have. I will do anything in my power to ensure that your father's name is carried in glory, including slaying who may possibly be the greatest pirate captain of all lifetimes. You have
What
my,
have I
you have
beat
my
you to
boat.
it?
Now, there's no need to attempt to slay me. We're all friends here.
And just like, oh, Roberto, you're hilarious. You're not as good as I am, though.
I'd just be like, yeah, but really though.
No, but really, though.
And I'll sort of stare at him over like my rum for a bit, and then I'll just like clap him on the shoulder. I'll be like,
I'm going to say to you, smile, and he'll lean back in, but his smile is a bit more fake now, as he's like looking you with like weird predator eyes and drinking away quietly.
I look over to Ezzy just for a second, and I'm rolling my eyes now.
Sexual tension aside, gentlemen, could we please get back to the plan at hand?
oh yes, of course. My apologies, Prince Alexei. As I say, it's our plan to head there if we can. We wish to try and get there in advance of Juan Vessia's fleet. See if we can obtain this map, although our own funds are somewhat limited at the moment, so we may have to find another way of obtaining the map, if you know what I mean. And hopefully we can dig ourselves in, and when this Juan Vessia turns up, we can settle his problem once and for all.
Sounds fair to me, says Angelo, who leans forward, the first time he's speaking since you got in there. What are you calling us here for?
Well, you're both captains of your own ship.
Yeah.
I've seen you all fight. I've seen your crews fight, and I could not have wished for better people to be fighting alongside us when we took on Redbeard. However, due to my respect for you, I will not expect you to follow along with this plan. If you wish to join us, I would welcome your company and the chance to fight alongside you again. But you are captains of your own destiny. I leave the final decision to yourselves.
Ezio looks over at Angelo, and Angelo looks back at Ezio, and he's like, are you doing anything this weekend? Nah, not really. Alright then, we're on!
Splendid, my friend, splendid. Then
What
let's hope.
you want us to do?
Basically, for the moment, while we head there, stay in formation. We'll try and get the lay of the land once we get there, locate this auction, perform a recce, find out what's going on, and then we'll make more of a plan there. The information we have is sketchy at the moment. We can't form a more solid plan until we have more information.
Sounds fair to me. Right, we're going to head back to our boats, and we're going to keep information as you say.
Please feel free to take one of those bottles of rum with you each, captains.
Oh, I intend to. Sorry.
I have a suggestion, perhaps. In terms of flying colours, you may not want to fly the colours of the ships that you now occupy. They may be noticed by Juan, or otherwise you might want to try and remain inconspicuous.
There's but pause, and like Ezio looks up and goes, on that note, do you want us to arrive at different times so people don't think we're traveling together?
I was wondering about that. It may be worth staying inconspicuous and...
Well, I was thinking of the 3 ships sailing into harbour, flags are flying, a show of strength. But of course, I will defer to the wishes of His Majesty Prince Alexei in this regard, since he has a far more personal stake in the matter.
Since I didn't take the full option to be stealthy as I arrived, I suppose I should be more leaning towards fly whatever colours you wish, gentlemen. I do not intend to hide myself from these brigands when I arrive.
Well, if you wish.
Very wise of you, Your Majesty. After all, surely anyone who has sense would recognise you and your noble heritage anyway.
Yes, but Juan may notice it, and probably has a larger fleet to arrive more spectacularly.
Yes, but I've seen the bravery of our men. I would wager any of the honest seamen who work on our decks against 10 of his men. Any day of the week.
I just go 14. Ezzy, these are your charges to protect.
At least it could bring about a conclusion a lot quicker. Bring about payday.
My main fear is that if we go in and we attempt to do this subtly, I don't expect Juan Vessia to simply turn up and attempt to pay honest cash for this map. I'm sure things are going to get ugly, and they're going to get ugly very quickly. My hope is that if we make ourselves a target, then the fallout from the battle may be somewhat lessened.
Good point.
I was thinking the opposite almost, that if we had the element of surprise and weren't the initial targets, we would get the jump on them. If we didn't realise we had reinforcements or it's a group consensus. If you wish to be bold, then
always, my friend, always.
All right then. So just to clarify, you're all gonna go in together with the 2 ships next to you, and be like one big party. No like splitting up. You're all just gonna go straight to the front door with some.
I prefer to think of ourselves more as like the start of a small fleet.
I can respect that. All right. So with that plan in mind, we're gonna jump straight to the Silver Pass. Is that fair?
Yep.
I think so.
Yeah.
Okay. So as you guys arrive, it's 2 days later. You know, at least you of all people, Alex, you know that you're like half a day ahead of the ship that captured you.
Right.
As you come in what was beautiful silvery water that lines up and clears aside the fog, there is this beautiful long stretch of land. Maybe, I don't know how far across it would be. Maybe like a kilometer across, but about 12 kilometers. What's called long, with a sweet square beach that runs around the side, and these tiny little decks of ports just scattered about. As you come on in, you see other ships making their way inside of the silvery morning, coming on down from the other side of the beaches, just settling into the area. It's like mostly wooden structures at the front, and as you go further and further in, it starts to build up a bit more stone structures, like a mini hill somewhere on top where like another giant stone structure sits, maybe like a fortress. You see like lining around the side of mini forts with cannons, you know, in case ships start shit or something. I don't know. As you guys come on in, the ports are open for you. After all, it is the freebooter line. They welcome anyone.
Sail in, boys. Make ready to drop anchor.
What flags are you flying?
I'm flying the flag of the Lady of the Sea.
So Galio's own crest on our ship, and then if they didn't change the flags on the captured ships, it's still Redbeard's.
It's still Redbeard's flags.
To be fair, there's no point changing the flag on mine because the incredibly voluptuous figurehead will give away which ship it is.
That's also true. As you come on in sailing, you weigh anchor and you put it down, and you see there's an entourage waiting for you.
Well, it looks like this might start earlier than we expected.
Well, let's not jump to any conclusions. We were told that there was a standing militia that occupy this area. Perhaps they're simply wishing to ensure that we don't cause any undue trouble. Anyway, I'll head down the gangplank and meet them and see if I can sound out what's going on. And All
right, you head out to the gangplank. There is a bunch of men. Not all of them are wearing militia clothes, but one of them is wearing what looks like a sash. Like a weird purple sash that, like, very thin, and it runs around the side and kind of like tassel at the bottom. And he sees you coming and he gives you like a mini bow, and he's like, "Ah, yes, the Lady of the Sea, and it's wonderful, wonderful, Captain Roberto."
You flatter me, sir, and who do I have the pleasure of addressing?
I am Elvin Payton, the harbour master of the Freebooters. And what do we have the pleasure of having you upon the sweet island of Silver Pass?
We're simply here to do some trading. We heard there was an auction taking place here that may have some items of interest to us.
You see him cock his head and go, "An auction, you say? Do you have a formal invite?"
Alas, no, we were not aware that one was required. We were simply told there was an auction where things that one might wish to purchase were being sold.
Well, if one wishes to acquire an invite, one must be able to address the Mr. and Mrs. Hayward for them to give out an invite. The auction is in 2 days' time. I'm sure, no, not 2 days. This auction is tonight. I'm sure if you found your way around and were able to speak to Miss Hayward or Mr. Hayward, I'm sure they could probably help you acquire one of those passes. But of course, that is none of my business. I am simply just here to tell you the rules. If you wish to start a fight with the pirates, you're welcome to, as long as none of the pirate captains. If they take offense, all fights must be settled in a duel. That is the only rule. Everything else goes.
When he says that, I'm standing. If he's sort of halfway down or at the bottom of the gangplank, I'm standing at the top, like chest puffed out, with my sword by my side. And when he mentions duel, I just grin. It's quite scary grin.
Well, thank you for informing us of the rules, Master Payton. We shall endeavour to cause you as minimal trouble as is possible. Tell me, might you have directions to where we can find Mr. and Mrs. Hayward?
They believe they reside, and he points up towards the large fortress that sits at the top of Silver Pass's mini hill. They reside up there upon their home. Of course, you would need some kind of invitation to get in.
So what you are saying, Master Payton, if I'm correct, is that in order to acquire an invitation to the auction, I need to speak to Mr. Hayward and acquire an invitation to speak to Mr. Hayward. Is that correct?
See him smile, and he goes, "Welcome to Silver Pass."
And tell me, my fine man, where might I acquire one of these invitations to speak with the, I'm sure, delightful Mr. and Mrs. Hayward?
They happen to have clerks and followers who run around town creating some form of list that you may possibly get on or may not get on, or may get on and not see her for another 2 or 3 months. They are very busy, after all. I'm sure.
With all of the trade that goes through the Silver Pass, they must be kept extremely busy.
Unbelievably. Do you have any idea how much effort it takes to watch over all of these pirates?
Alas, no. I can only imagine how much it must be an administrative nightmare, sir.
Absolutely. Now, make sure you cause no trouble for my men and me, myself, and I will wish you good luck. You're going to need it.
Your good health, sir.
And to yours.
All this time, Ezzy's been looking at one of the freebooters,
Mm-hmm.
and she's been thinking, I recognise that man down there. And as they're turning to leave or whatever, she calls, Ramon, is that you?
Ooh.
Because she has an ally advantage. I would like to play the ally advantage, please.
God damn it, that's pretty good. I didn't see that coming. Yeah, so what's his name again? Come on, right now.
Ramon.
Ramon. Okay, so freebooter Ramon.
Yeah.
Fuck, I just made the personality in my head. Ramon turns around. He's got like one of those twirly mustaches, and he's wearing like this sideways because that's how he speaks now. I'm sorry. And he sort of turns towards you, and he sort of sees you look up, and he sort of looks at you, and then he sort of like tips his hat to you. And as he tips his hat, he points towards a bar just a little bit further in. Before he puts his hat back down, and he walks in and goes, this seems unpopular. What a shame. And he walks on.
Okay. Good. Ezzy will smile to herself, look over at the bar. Seems I have a date.
Are you quite sure that wearing that dress the other day hasn't affected you in some manner, Ezzy? A date, indeed.
Don't mention the dress again, please.
No, I'm simply shocked to hear you referring to having an assignation with some young fella, my lad, on this island.
Ramon and I go back a ways. It's purely plutonic relationship, business-like. That is all.
Ah, I see. Then I apologise from the bottom of my heart for my misapprehension, Ezzy. I meant no offence.
I know you didn't. Oh, did.
Right, very well. Presuming your date isn't this moment, what's our first port of call?
Looking over at the prince. Mm-hmm.
We're trying to gain an invitation to
Yes.
speak to Hayward to gain an invitation to the auction.
Yes, perhaps we should try and see about getting on this list. Maybe some name dropping is in order.
I was going to say, do you have influence, Prince?
Just so you know, Prince, you know you've worked in these circles before. You know, getting on the list will take a few days, and it'll take more days to get put up the list, and then give it another day or two before you can speak to Miss Hayward, and give it another day or two before you get to actually go to the auction. The auction is tonight.
I do have a suggestion, my prince, if you'll allow me. Your own lineage is bit beyond compare. Obviously, that goes without saying. My own, admittedly by your standards, humble lineage also carries some weight. Perhaps we can levy both our family names to gain some purchase on this list that is being drawn up.
Yes, I mean, I was thinking of just turning up at a doorstep, personally, and making it a little bit more difficult for them to refuse our refuse to accept us onto their list. Maybe that would expedite things somewhat.
Well, I was thinking, Prince Alexei, that if we wander around the town, we drink in a few establishments, we accidentally let people overhear that you are present on the island. I'm not saying that is without danger. However, as a person of extremely great importance, surely you are a person that they would naturally wish to have on their list anyway. After all, association with royalty does have its benefits. So perhaps if they knew you were here, they would actually invite you, rather than us having to scrabble to get on the list in the first place.
Well, no. For the fact that going through the proper channels would probably take us more time than we have. It's worth an attempt, I would say.
Indeed. Well, since Ezio appears to be sort of keep glancing sideways towards that taverna over there, what say we stop there? After all, what better place is there to spread rumour in a place like this than the place everyone drinks together? All we have to do is have several loud conversations with you where we mention your name. And the rumour will quickly spread that you are on the island. Like I say, it may have its danger because once Juan arrives, he will no doubt also become aware of your presence. But as you said earlier, my prince, you do not, quite rightly, you do not wish to hide your presence or cower away from this villain.
Yes, and perhaps we may find some allies who are who would support me in our cause while we're here as well. If they only know I'm here.
Indeed, and if there are as many pirates in this place as I expect, then Juan is reputed as one of the blackest-hearted pirates on the seas. There will be many, no doubt, who would wish to assume his position, given the opportunity.
I just lean over to Ezio and just whisper, well, I tried to get you some privacy from the less subtle members of our party, but looks like they're coming with.
That's fine. At least the prince will still be here, so I'll still be on duty.
Indeed, as he said earlier, she does not wish to let the prince out of her sight. Quite a wise precaution. This is, as I see it, the best of both worlds. We're making the best of a bad situation here.
Yeah. Very well.
So what's your plan?
Well, I believe first of all I'm going to go and pay a call on the lovely Lady Lear and see if she wishes to accompany me to the taverna.
And then we're going on a pub crawl.
Exactly.
Alright, guys, so now this is a very interesting thing we're about to do now. The reason why I've put you so far back with all these like obstacles in your way is because I want to try something new. This is called a dramatic sequence. So you know how everything was working now, right?
Yeah.
You're gonna roll your dice after giving your approach, and for every raise, that's something else you accomplish, and then I'll counter it with something else that's happening because of it. And we're gonna start from the beginning until you get to. On the goal of it is to get to basically skip all the middle ground, get on the list, get past the list, and go meet Mr. and Mrs. Hayward today. Ready?
Yep.
Right, everyone, tell me your approaches. Starting from you, Dan.
Okay. Oh, brilliant. I was considering maybe we were going to take different approaches. Like the prince and the captain may well take like a diplomatic approach, and then Ezio maybe takes an underworld approach. Yep. And I was just going to try and duel someone for a ticket.
What a guy.
Okay, so your approach is to find someone to duel for a ticket. Is that fair?
Basically, I'll go in there and brag and get people to bet a ticket or put their ticket on the line.
I love it. That's your approach for getting in. What about the rest of you guys?
Okay, my approach is going to be to head into the taverna with the rest of the people, and the idea is to seed around the knowledge by like dropping into conversation as we're sort of walking around with people, so that a lot of people find out that Prince Alexei is on the island and that he's potentially interested in meeting with these dignitaries on the island.
I like that too. And the rest of you guys?
Yep. Ezzy's approach will be to get herself ingratiated with the freebooters, and to perhaps, if they're not already aware, to let them know that Juan is on his way and that he is actually the bad guy in this whole scenario. So they should be on our side against him if the proverbial hits the fan.
I love it. And finally, Prince, are you going to the same plan as Roberto is, or?
Yeah, I'm going to make sure that I sort of drop the fact that I'm sort of fighting for my people's sort of freedoms and making it known that personal freedoms and things like that, and sort of destroying the sort of established nobility is my goal. So, like, people in this, pirates and free men and stuff are all welcome in my kingdom.
All right, so there is no worry about consequences now. When you run out of raises, you can't do any more. You've got as far as you can without it turning into an actual full scene. So we're trying to get you guys there before that happens. So starting up, Dan, I believe yours will have to be your panache because you're trying to get people to come at me, bro. And let me see what skills you have. I would say it's your, oh boy, it's going to be your intimidation. That's your 2 skills.
Okay.
You go for that roll. I do the rest of them. I must go. Ezzy, yours is going to be your resolve because you're trying to get people to be on your side. And I'm gonna say it's going to be your ambush because you're trying to get behind him to get him involved with that. So that's what you're going for there too.
Yep.
Roberto, do I even need to tell you what you need to do? It's going to be either wits or panache, the same dice, and it's going to be either deception. No, it's not deception because you are there.
Now, I would like to suggest that it probably would be deception because I'm actually trying to manipulate them by the way I'm dropping the rumours because I actually want them to spread the rumours. I'm trying to manipulate them rather than just going, oh, do you know the prince is in town? I'm actually trying to get them to sort of spread that rumour so that lots of people will find out about it.
Excellent. And Alexei, yours should be exactly the same. It will also be wits, and for you can use diplomacy.
Okay. Where does backgrounds come into it? Because I have something like an
right. When you do what your background is, whatever your background is, when you take that action, you spend a hero point and then you do that thing.
Okay.
I think. Hold on, let me check that.
The backgrounds, as far as that character, the cheat sheet you've given us, it seems to be a one-off per session thing that you can call upon, and you gain a hero point for mentioning it.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. Yeah, you it's like your hubris and your virtue. You bring that thing up into the game. You do the action and you get a hero point for being cool.
Okay, so I was looking at with my aristocrat background applied. So you appeal to your bloodline, breeding, or family name to solve a problem.
I think that counts in this case. Get a hero point.
Okay.
I'm also planning on doing that, by the way.
Oh my fucking god! Yeah, you two get a hero point. Jesus Christ.
Okay, so it's wits and diplomacy.
Yep.
How many? Remind me, Lloyd. How many hero points did we start with?
One.
You always start with one, no matter how many you left in the last section, because
One.
if you spend it, you're boned.
The hero points, if you've read Opatal, they're 1 dice for you, 1 extra dice, or 3 dice for someone else.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
As well as being able to manipulate the plot, I think you can.
That's part of the reason I'm sticking near the prince, so that if he's amazing at the diplomacy and whatever, I'll be like, oh yeah, he's right. Listen to the prince.
Oh yeah, he's the best ever.
I think they can also stop you from dying, so you may want to hold on to one.
Ha! I do not fear death.
Alright, boys, let's go. Well, like I said before, I'm taking this very slow because I want to try and ease everyone into the rule system because it's kind of...
Okay, I'm going to do mine on roll 20, Lloyd, because my dice stream's just not playing at all.
Thank you for being a friend.
At the end of the last session when we looked at that dice roller and we were looking, and sometimes if you get 15, you can get 2 raises. We didn't know what that was. That player cheat sheet mentions it. If you have 4 skill in a thing, you can actually go up 15 instead of 10.
Yeah, but no one has 4 skill in anything, so I never worry about that.
Is it in the skills itself, not just traits?
Not just traits.
Right.
Skills.
Okay.
Very important. But what it does mean is that you can reroll 1 dice if you have 2 points in it.
Oh, is that for all skills?
All skills.
Right, I thought it was just for my sword because that was where the rerolls were, but no, that makes more sense.
Dice,
So everyone go through the pain of counting all your dice together and then figuring out the raises you have, and then we'll deal with it one by one.
So I can re-roll a dice?
Yeah, you can reroll 1 dice.
Okay, so re-roll the 3. Why not?
I'm going to
What's that? Everyone can, what are you saying?
If you have 2 in a skill, you can re-roll. If you had 4 in a skill, you could re-roll again, but we don't.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
So if you
Okay,
have at least
so-
2 in something, you can re-roll one of your dice.
Yes, I think I might just. Yeah.
Just
Oh
three
yeah,
for me.
wands can be. Lloyd can steal them away for bad points.
I don't. It doesn't need to be ones anymore. I can steal any dice you don't use for a raise.
Really?
Yeah, but I give you a hero point for it.
Well, just to make it easy on you, Lloyd, the only dice I've got left is a 1.
Oh, that's convenient. Get a hero point.
Boom.
I'm using the bravado to brag openly about my prowess with swords. So can I? Is that
Take your
rolling on
hero
my
point,
background?
you coward.
Yay.
All right, when everyone's done with the rolls, the good news is that all the rolling is done at once, and then we just go through the steps one by one.
Reroll that too. Why not? 2 or 1. Wonderful.
Are you using that one?
I haven't counted things up. That's what. That's 10. No,
sure
you can probably steal it.
You have it. Have a hero point. I know you love it. It's cool.
I'm sure it's entirely unconnected, but I'm loving the fact in this game that like wands can be stolen by the GM, and we're chasing after a bad guy called Juan.
All right, everybody ready?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. How many raises have everyone got?
I got 3.
3.
2.
3.
Oh wow! Jesus Christ! Look at those 10s you rolled. How'd you only get 3?
Huh?
Look at those 10s you. Oh yeah, you did only get 3. Fuck. Sorry.
Yeah.
Life's a bitch. Okay, so let's do this. You all split up into own directions. 2 of you go on ahead inside to try and figure out what to do and talk to people and be all sociable. We shall deal with the duelist first because he believes he is the man. There is one you have to first find a good place where you think people of ill repute but also would have tickets would go, which means you should go straight to the pirate captain style pub, which is the Momentia de la Hus, which basically also means that the moment of pleasure.
Okay.
The Momentia de la Hus is waiting for you with a whole bunch of music playing and like pirate captains in glasses chinking away and drinking away and looking all fabulous and being awesome and shit, and yeah, let's get partying.
Okay, so I would like to basically bust in there really dramatically, jump off onto a table or something, and go, and I don't know, hopefully like the music quiets or something like that, and with my chest puffed out and probably like the frilly jewelish shirt that I have on and everything, I'll go something like, "Hello, gentlemen and ladies. I have need to get into an auction, and I have 3 ships to my name. I don't need all of them. I would like a little wager. If any of you can beat me in a sword duel, you can have a ship. If I beat you, I get a ticket." And then I'll like pull the sword. Anyone up for it?
That will cost you 1 raise. The room looks at you for a second. Then everyone just bursts out laughing like, "What the hell is this loser standing up, standing in a goddamn thing?" Everybody's like dancing around, just like having a bit of a laugh and sort of like staring at you like you're a bit crazy or whatever the hell's going on. And as they're laughing at you, a few people are stepping up like, "Come on, man, come on, get down, try and fight me. Who would you like to fight with? Are you picking anyone randomly and hoping to have a ticket? Or are you specifically looking for someone?
If I can, I don't know, if I can identify captains or the like that are probably more likely to have a ticket, or if someone has a ticket and is bragging about it.
Spend
challenge that.
spend 1 raise and tell me who you find.
Okay.
That's what the raise will cost you.
I find the Captain Marco, who is an up-and-coming pirate captain that is fresh from some sort of raid and is flush with cash and is looking to buy things on this auction.
Okay, so Captain Marco sort of comes up, right? He sort of standing there counting his money and he looks at you, and he looks at his ticket, and he looks back up at you again, and he's like, and he's sort of like, he's like ignoring you, not really paying attention, just like going back to his money and stuff. You'd have to challenge him directly if you want to try and get it.
So if he's going through sorting all of his stuff, maybe I see that he has the ticket on the table or something.
Mm-hmm.
And he obviously looks quite greedy. So I leave, ignoring the people trying to get me down. I push off the table and land, putting the sword away with a flourish, all in one move, and then I stroll towards Marco. And if there's an empty chair, or I pull up an empty chair on the way going, and I go, "You look like a man who could use another ship. What say you?"
That will cost you one more raise.
That would be my last one to get me to that point.
All right. I think that's far enough, because he sits there and he sort of looks down, then he looks up at you, and he's like, "What, you think I'm going to just randomly fight some brigand who just turned up? You're nobody. I am the great Captain Marco. My name will be etched when Duan finally falls to my own blade. Who are you to come in here and challenge me to a duel?"
I'm the one who I'm the one who is going to see Juan fall after I see you fall.
I'm like, "Ooh," and he's like, "I hope you can put your blade where your mouth is." I intend to do that for you.
I can put my blade anywhere.
He looks at you, he smiles, then he grabs the table, he flips it up, and as he flips it up, he draws his sword. And we'll deal with you later. Let's cut to the freebooters. Ian.
Yep, so
talk me through it.
I'll be in the bar waiting for Ramon of the curly moustaches to arrive.
All right. As you're in the bar, sitting down, sort of like just chilling as you can, a hand slips by your side. You can see it coming. You can sense the person walking up, and a very curved, lazy-looking dagger sort of just rests on the table. And a voice speaks to you, which is, "I believe I owe you this. Thank you very much for using it to save my life." Ha ha ha.
Right. I shall look around and...
It's Ramon. He is standing there. He has a big grin on his face, and he has a big tankard of nasty-looking grog that he settles down in front of you, before reaching back, grabbing another one from under the table and putting it down in front of him, and then grabbing the chair and sliding it over to him. He's like, "I cannot believe after all these years you just turn up outside the door."
Well, I could hardly believe it myself. Look at you.
What brings you here, of all places?
A few things. I'm working again as a bodyguard, she says, for a very influential prince with some very ideals, some very revolutionary ideals, much similar to my own, as you may remember. And we're also looking for some information to get us to La Liberteria.
Anything you want, I'll tell you. But La Libertalia, that's out of my thoughts. I'm just a freebooter. I only joined them a year ago.
Okay, that's good. There's also, you know, Juan, the pirate captain. Yeah.
Breeder of sin, murderer of children. Yes, we know him.
Yeah, well, we're on opposite sides in this particular endeavour, and I'm I'm just looking around for allies in case things go down, so to speak. And I was hoping I could count on you and perhaps some of your friends.
He sort of leans back and he goes, "You know I'll help you in any shape or form I can, but I'm just a normal freebooter. Even Peyton isn't a true freebooter. The things go all the way up to the top. You'd have to speak to someone with actual power, like Colonel Linsday. She is the one who really controls the freebooters.
Well,
I can get you an audience, but I don't know how far it will go."
yeah, that would be great. It might be better if I bring in one of my friends along as well to do most of the talking. You know, I'm not a.
He looks at you and he goes, no, just us.
Very well.
He looks at you and nods quietly and goes, "I understand that you're not one of the talker, but if I bring someone else that I do not trust, I do not know what will happen out there. You, I trust. That captain, I'm not so sure."
Good.
Right. We'll deal with you in a second. Let's cut to both of you guys out being party animals. Right, tell me what you're doing.
Well, my thoughts are that we're going to be sort of making fairly merry and free as much as we can. We'll name drop our families entirely disgracefully, and we'll also sort of have several like overly loud conversations near like people who look a bit gossipy to sort of name drop the prince, with the idea that they'll then spread it to other people, like, you know, there's a prince on the island, etc.
I like it. It will cost you both one raise.
Okay.
About maybe an hour into your, well, check it out, everyone. Look, the Prince Alexi's here. Come on in, get a drink. You've got like, there's a bit where you've got like all these bar ladies and bar guys. I mean, you're not picking them a fuck. Like standing around you, drinking along with you. You're spending your wealth. You're like blowing your money. You're just doing all wiles. About halfway through, you get someone approach you and sort of comes up to you and they look you straight in the eye and they go, "Excuse me, are you Prince Alexi?"
Yes, I am. How can I help you?
He gives a bow and he goes, "The Sir and Madam Haywood would like to speak to you now."
Well, very well. I accept their invitation. Can I bring my captain friend here?
He nods quietly towards you and goes, "Yes, you may. Please, follow me."
Very well. Okay.
As he steps out, you can notice as you guys are leaving the bar, because it's free and that's what you want, as you leave the bar, slowly but surely, a small commander of maybe like 6 men start to follow you as you make your way through town.
I'll be trying to keep half an eye on them as we move.
How do these look like they're militia members or?
They're definitely not militia members, but they're not making themselves hidden. They're intentionally following you all the way up, almost like an entourage just behind you as you walk.
Okay, very well. I'll just keep straight and proud and walk with a bit of a swagger.
Coolies, you go all the way up to the top of the fortress, and like this really large, it's a pretty fucking huge, like fortress building with like towers in between and like these nice little like curtains and like faces off the side of like the sea with like a little edge dropping off. And you walk your way all the way through. The doors swing wide open. You come into this beautiful, lavish garden that awaits you. And as you walk into the garden, you can see there is a fairly old man and woman sitting in a lovely like little like gazebo area, sipping like tea and eating like eating something like some goddamn like paella out of a coconut or some shit. I don't know. Just quietly sitting there, just like quite like with the most pristine like full on nice looking clothes, just quietly just sipping away, and then they look up and they see, and the woman like gestures for you to come closer.
Okay. I
After you.
will.
Sorry, after you.
I was going to say, since I'm an aristocrat and I'm aware of the sort of like the protocol in this, I'll sort of do the thing where, where like a servant steps forward and like announces the royal personage. So I'll sort of step forward and say, "My lord and my lady, I have the pleasure of introducing you to His Excellency Prince Alexei."
They go, "We know who he is, but thank you anyway. Please join us, Prince Alexei," says the man, Mr. Hayward.
Okay.
Senor Hayward, there we go. Senor Hayward welcomes you. Senor Hayward welcomes you in, and he's like, "Let you take a seat." He's like eating like a meat off the bone, like desperate, while his wife is just quietly picking at this like paella and a god damn it, Lord. Paella and the coconuts. And as they're like sort of sipping Asians, and he's like, "What's called?" He goes, "I hear you have come here to cause a bit of a ruckus amongst my people."
Well, as you, I've heard that we have an auction coming up in this evening, in fact, and as you know, going through the proper channels is not as expedient as I would have wished, and chances are we would have missed said auction. And it's quite important that we take part. So I thought it would be a way of coming to your attention that I have arrived without causing any actual too much fuss.
"I think that's perfectly fair," says Mr. Hayward, as he Senor Hayward, as he sits there. "I think doing such acts are what's the word I'm looking for, dear?" She's like, exuberant, malicious, wild. Yes, honey, wild. A wild and boldful approach to coming to get to our attention. But in all seriousness, why does a prince of your caliber just happen to be here looking for an auction? Is there anything particular you're wishing to get?
Do I actually know why we want the map, to be honest? Because my main focus is getting back my wife-to-be, I presume.
La Libertalia is where he's taking your wife.
Oh, okay. And it's I believe you are well acquainted with the pirate Juan. What's his surname?
Juan,
I put it in the text.
It's like Vassalo or something.
Juan Avery Vessia.
Yeah.
Well, the dread pirate Juan. He currently has possession of the woman I am betrothed to, and there is something in your auction that will lead me to where he's taking her, and I'm quite adamant about getting her back.
Are you being perfectly honest with them?
Yes, as far as I can tell.
Cool. I don't think this should cost you a raise just yet. And he sort of leans forward and goes, "And why should we help you?"
I can imagine that there'd be certain political advantages in our neighboring. Well, I don't know how. Am I a prince of like this entire land, or just a section of it?
A pretty fucking big part of the land, which is nearby.
Okay, so yes, I believe it would be advantageous for us to become allies. I am currently in the process of trying to make my land a more free and fair place, and free of the nobility, and we would be glad of allies of the neighbouring sort of areas and countries around us in such changing times as they're approaching.
I think your speech appeals to their hearts slightly, so it cost you 1 raise to give that speech without them just kicking you out the door.
Okay.
You see her Miss Hayward, Senora Hayward, sort of close the coconut that she's eating and sort of push it to her side. And then she goes, "So you wish to end slavery, right?"
Yes. It's too long. The nobility in my land has oppressed the people, and my plan is to make everyone in my land nobility, so that there are no man above any others.
Both of them smile and they both lean in, and they both look at you, and then Senor Hayward sort of goes, "But if that's true, then who should be responsible for all these other people? Who should be responsible for keeping Silver Pass in such a wonderful area, such a beautiful, well-shaped, incredibly persistent area? Let me tell you a story. Something interesting." And then he clicks his hands like that. And as he does, they bring in these 2 men who are both like beaten and bruised and like tied up on their arms. And they bring it on forward and they both kneel down. And then he sort of goes, "It's interesting you should bring this up. You see, on the left, I have a worker who works in my factory. He stole a few pennies and sort of just did a few bad things here and there, just a few trinkets that he could keep in his pocket and walk off. As always, it's terrible, but it's not too bad. To the right of him, I have a man who burnt an entire family to death. He's an arsonist. He's a crazed lunatic. Tell me something. If I'm not here to judge men by what they do, should I just let these 2 men go? I mean, are they equal, would you say?"
Well, I'm not suggesting we abandon law, but I am more suggesting that the law be fair to all peoples.
At which point he stabs his knife into the table and he goes, "Slavery is law. It is because of slaves and people serving underneath us that we have the power that we have now. And you ask us to throw it away on a whim because some brat prince thinks he can just come around and fix the world and its beautiful places? Do you even know suffering?" Tell me something else. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. Which one of these 2 men should I let go? According to your rule, all men should be equal, right? I should free them both. After all, it was nothing more than him just to gently let the man, let his whole family burn to death. Almost as it wasn't this man's fault to stop stealing from my coffers.
If you'll excuse me for speaking, my prince. So if I am correct, sir, what you are asking us to do is to make a choice regarding the fates of these 2 men. Is that correct? You're asking us to sentence them.
Yes, please do.
At which point I'm just going to...
Actually, stop. That will cost for a raise them not to insult you and tell you to shut the fuck up.
That's fine. I'll spend a raise.
Okay.
At which point I'm just going to turn around. I'll draw my pistol, point it squarely at the face of the man who burnt down all the villages, and...
As you shoot into the ground, Senor Haywood raises an eyebrow and goes, "Well, that was one. What about the other?"
You said that his crimes were fairly minor. I do not believe he has done anything that would merit the death penalty.
I think that's perfectly fair.
Perhaps he should be made to work back extra to make up for the money he stole.
So if I were to tell you that the man who stole all that gold had been set upon by a family that had found him and murdered them all and left the house in a rush, and the vengeance placed upon that man was the other man who was shot to the ground who had gone to this man's house, had a fight, and then set the house on fire, be it maybe accidentally, be it as not, would you say what you did right now was a good thing?
Is that question addressed to myself or the prince?
He addresses it to both of you.
I would say,
so you can speak.
I would say, noble sir, that it is an action that has been undertaken, and whether I now, in the cold light of day, deem it to be worthwhile or not, it is done. Therefore, it cannot be changed.
Now, of course, you're raised. And then he looks over at you and goes, and yourself, Prince? Savior of the people? Man who believes in free will? It was free will that your man shot that gun. It is up
Yes,
to you
but
to judge.
I believe that judgment can only become by knowing all the facts. You purposely kept facts from me. Therefore, I cannot make a fair judgment.
It's funny how you say that. You're definitely going to enjoy our auction. I think the last raise from you. She reaches in and then she grabs like 2 of these nice-looking long slips of paper, and then she puts it down in front of it and she goes, "I hope you have a fantastic time, and we'll see you tonight."
Okay. Alexei sort of bows his head and rises from his seat.
And then they go, "One more thing. We have seen your your metal, and we will act accordingly during the auction. Do you remember that?"
Very well.
And then they watch you both leave.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone all right?
Yep.
All right, let's jump to the duel.
Sounds like other people are having a much easier time of this than I am.
Well, you're the one who wants to go fight somebody. Okay.
What can I say, man? You're so impetuous and overconfident, man. You need to just rein it back a bit.
You could have come for the fucking test of 2 people, but instead you were like, "Nah, I'm gonna go fucking fight somebody." Then we're like, "Oh, well, just shoot some dude and go home. Problem solved."
To be fair, having seen him fight, if he'd have gone, "I'm going to take on that entire tavern until I find someone with a ticket," I'd have been like, "Do you know what? Probably can."
All right, what is your approach? We're in duel mode at the moment. I will get to you, Ian. I swear to God. Please don't hate me.
I know there were dual rules, but we didn't do them last session, so I have no idea how
You
this
don't need
works.
to worry about it. I will explain it all to you after you give your approach.
Okay, well, so he's flipped the table and drawn the sword on me. From what I understood was there was meant to be some sort of formal dueling process on this island, otherwise
Yes.
the law gets involved.
Yes, but you're not a pirate captain.
Oh, I didn't realise it was Captain Exclusive for the law, but fair enough.
But he's still dueling you, so it's his
Yeah.
choice. He's attacked you. So you're exempt.
Okay, I mean, I have this Duelist Guild membership thing, and I've been trained by the Dueling Academy, so I should be fairly on my feet and alert when it comes to duels. So he flips it and draws his sword. I leap back, drawing mine. I basically say, "I thought there was some sort of formal process for this, but if you wish to duel here, then I'd be it on your head."
And he goes, "There's no process for scum like you!" And he goes in for the charge.
Okay.
So, if you have the, do you have the quick start open?
I can do. Yes.
It's fairly simple, actually. First things first, you do what you normally do, which is you tell me what your approach is, and then you tell me what duel style you're using. Do you even have a duel style?
I have Dueling Academy, Ambrosia, Ambrogia, something.
I gotta look it up.
I'm good at parrying and defending, and I can use finesse for sword play. And then I
Yeah,
have
which is
in combat reflex sword. I get a dice. It says you counter spending a hero point on the action for the purpose of speed. I'm not quite sure how that.
Yeah, usually when you're doing someone else, you can spend a hero point to go first.
Right.
To go for your attack first. And because usually the villains go first.
In duels. Okay.
In everything, villains
Everything.
always go first. If
But-
there's ever a tie.
But I always go first because of my combat reflexes then.
Yes.
Very well. I'm aiming
Now,
not to kill him because I presume that would get me into trouble. So I'm trying to injure him, his limbs and stuff, and sort of disarm him and just whittle him down until he's too wounded to carry on, and then I just take his ticket and leave.
I think that's perfectly fair. So, since you're going first, you can spend a hero point to go first, or he'll go first. I think that's how it works. What's
Well,
yours
the
again?
combat reflexes say, choose one weapon skill. You're always considered to be spending a hero point on this action for the purpose of speed. So if-
Motherfucker. Yeah, you go
so I
first.
always go first.
All right.
He
So,
charges, and I riposte.
okay. So
Unless
here comes
it
the
is
first
the same.
thing. You go first. Roll your dice, and then we'll go through the steps one by one.
That being panache, swordsmanship, the left-handed reroll.
Oh my god.
I have to use it sometime. It
Yeah.
says sword fighting.
Just use the left-handed reroll already. Jesus. He is not a very big villain, so he's only rolling.
Oops. That was the wrong dice thing.
He's literally just a dude. Oh, I fucked it up. How to do maths? Fuck!
5,
1,
6, 7, 8.
2, 3. 3 raises.
Okay. 8 and 2 rerolls, I think.
For those of you watching right now, this is a dual section. We haven't done this one before, so it's going to be slightly more complicated. I do apologize for that. But hey, on the plus side, eventually I'm going to have to deal with freaking freebooter power in a minute. I'm sorry for taking so long in all the sections. I just had to make sure I dealt with each one before I got to the point.
Can I spend more than one hero point in a combat, or is it just one?
I think it's just one. I think. Depends on what you want to spend it on.
I was just spending it for extra dice.
Yeah, I'm sure I can spend more than one. Yeah, for that you can spend more.
I'm going to spend 2, so I get up to 10 dice.
Yay!
With 2 rerolls.
Just roll the dice already.
Well, that's 2 10s. Oh, at least. That's 10, that's 3. And that's 4. And I'm going to re-roll those 2 3s. Another 10, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That could be 6. That's a lot of dice.
Okay, so since you go first and you've decided what you want to do, you get to pick from the basic or advanced maneuvers as to what your first action will be. And then every time you pick, then I pick. Then you pick, then I pick. Then you pick, then I pick until we both run out of all our points or until I do the disengage move.
Okay. I think I have 6 raises. Is it quite
Great, wonderful. Ah, shit. All right, so take the first action. Remember, the maneuvers page on page 26.
Do I have any advanced maneuvers? Because they say you can only do them once a round and you have to have teachers to have taught you and things like that.
Yes, I believe you have one. It should say so in there somewhere. Oh, no, you don't have any. You're fairly low. I guess you're low class, so you can't get any. It would normally say what extra things you have.
Okay. Oh. Yeah, I guess attack slash.
Oh, no. You have all of them. You have all the advanced maneuvers because you're in a dual academy. You can do them all.
Oh.
Yeah, you went to dual academy. You can do all of them.
Okay, fair enough. That's a lot of choice.
Yep. Hey, you want a duel? You had all that time.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I'll slash at him, I guess.
All right. So when you use your maneuver to slash, you spend one of your rays, and then you either inflict a wound or generate a hero point. Oh wait, the rules are a little bit more different than normal.
With 5 raises, for example, you can generate 3 of those or reflect. Okay.
You can blow as many of your raises in one go as you want.
I mean, so it's 1 raise to just start, and so that was 5, and then I have 4 left. Or did I say I had 6?
Yep.
Can't remember now.
6.
I said
So
I had
you
6,
go-
right? So I
so
could
you
do
go for
5
slash?
wounds straight
Yeah.
out.
Straight out. Like, well, not 5 wounds. You can do 2 wounds. You can either spend a raise to inflict a wound or generate. Oh yeah, you can do 5
Yeah.
wounds straight out.
Why not?
Okay, describe it.
So I go. He charges at me, but I'm too quick for him, and I sort of knock his blade aside, and then just start slashing. As I say, aiming for his limbs rather than trying to stab him through. I'm trying to make him drop the sword, and sort of cut at the back of his legs as I sort of dance around him to try and bring him to the ground.
So how many raises do you spend?
I'll spend all of them. Why not?
Are you sure?
Yeah, 5 wounds. Let's do 5
Okay.
wounds to him.
So you go for the slash. You go up for him. He'll spend his maneuver to parry. In which case he spends 2. Basically, the sword up in the air. He just grabs a bowl and he like smashes it like over your blade, and it saves him having 2 less wounds. And he's just 2 what's called raises to do that.
Okay.
And then he tumbles backwards, and that's his move done. It's your turn. Do you have any raises left?
Nope.
Well, then I guess it's his turn. And he only has 1 raise. So as he sees you like slash him at his chest, and you see him like take a deep breath, and he sees his arms are like looking horrible. He goes for a slash against you, and he does 1 point of damage to you.
Okay.
And that's the first round of duel. Second round, are you ready?
Do I have to re-roll all the raises again? Okay.
One, 2. Crap. 1, 2. Ah, I can't work out a 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. 4 raises.
1, 2.
And he's standing there like his arms are bleeding a bit, and he's like taking a deep breath, and he's like, "Oh God, this guy's really good."
Okay, I'm gonna re-roll 1 and the 2 for 1 and a 6. That's an improvement.
I'll buy one of those off you. You're not using. I don't mind.
I don't know if I'm using them yet or not.
Just let me know. Is everyone alright at the moment? Cool. I know it's going slightly slower, but there's a lot to pick up on, a lot of rules I've got to get out of the way. So dramatic sequences, dueling.
I think it's 5.
You got 5?
Without a calculator.
I got 4. Do you have any points left I can buy?
Maybe?
I'll buy 1. Have a 1 hero.
Why not? The maths is a little bit rough.
Yeah. Right, go. You always go first.
Yeah, well, I guess if I always get to go first, then why not? Not that one. I'm just looking at some of the more interesting ones. Not that one. I think I'm going to go slash him again. I'll use 4 to slash, and I'll keep 1 back for a parry.
I think that's perfectly fair. You go for the 4 slash. He takes the hit of 4. Describe it for me so I can describe what he does back.
So seeing that he's being like pushed back and taking wounds against his arms, I'm going to hammer down on that that one sort of sword arm, just
Mhm.
slashing it repeatedly in the shoulder and the elbow, trying to disarm him.
He's gonna take all 4 because he can handle it.
Okay.
Because there's no choice. No, you know what? No. Yeah. He's gonna take all 4 because he can handle it. And on his turn, he is going to slash you back. So as you hit him on the arm, you see him screaming for it, but he flips the sword onto his other hand, his weaker hand, and he slices you for 2.
Okay. I use the one last to parry one of the damage, so take
So take
one more
one, huh?
damage.
Excellent. And he will use his other 2 against you to bash you.
Okay.
So he goes for it, you parry him up, and instead of him just taking it, he barrels into you and he takes you out the window.
Okay.
And it'll do 2 more wounds to you.
Sure.
As he lands outside and gets up and he's got his dagger and his sword in his hand. He's ah! But he's bleeding a bit. He's not looking so good. Probably the final round. Are you ready?
Yeah, go for it.
How many wounds have you taken so far?
I'm on 4 wounds. 4 damage, sorry. So
One
away
more.
from a wound.
1 more. I just need to roll 10 10s. That would be great.
Ooh, that's
Oh,
bad.
not 10 10. That was 1 10. That was
2 rerolls.
1.
1 and a 3. Okay.
There's someone dying over there.
It's fireworks or gunfire. Pick
that-
your poison. I don't know.
I think it's Roberto going crazy in the background.
Yeah, it's fireworks.
It's fucking August. What the hell? Dan, you ready?
Almost.
That's hard.
Yeah. There is an unused number if you want to buy it.
Yeah, why not? I could do the spare points. I'm gonna need it for the auction. I mean, what? Okay, he has 3. What do you have?
4.
You go first.
So you say he's looking pretty bad.
Yeah, he's looking pretty bad.
As he bashes me through the window, and I sort of pull round in an arc and launch myself back at him again. This time aiming mostly for the legs to try and put him down after his exertion. I'll slash at him twice.
Another slash?
Yeah, I mean the other ones I don't quite. I mean I don't know why I need my. I'm fighting with my bravado and most of these boost other things.
Yeah. So you don't always so you don't always have to go I'm going for the slash. I can go for something else.
Well, yeah, but I'm fighting with my panache, but
Mhm.
the bash ups your brawn, and the riposte ups your wits, and the flourish gets you more hero points, and the lunge you can't do in a maneuver next round. So I don't need to up my primary stats because they're not upping my. If you see what I mean, they're not.
It doesn't lift your primary stats up. You can make it raise up to your primary stat.
Okay.
See what I mean?
Yeah, but still, I'd actually be. Because I'm fighting with panache, my brawn is terrible, my wits are terrible, so there's no reason I would up myself to my wits level of 2 when I could be fighting with a panache of 5.
Which is fair.
So I don't see the advantage. I mean, I could get a bunch of hero points if I did a flourish. I'll put him down with a flourish. I'll put all 5 Did I say I had 5? 4? I had one more than you this round.
Yeah.
I'll put them all into a flourish and try end him while looking fancy. So I do half the damage.
I think that's probably best. Right, describe how you do it.
So I put all the points up to the panache. I get hero points up to that amount, and I do wounds half of that amount. So seeing that he's pushed me out the window, we like do that circle where they circle around opponents, and my sword is like just barely above the ground, and perhaps there's a crowd gathering or something, and people looking through the window, and I just go, "You fought well, but that ticket is mine," and then charge him, slashing at the back of his legs.
Go for it. That will take him out, so just finish him off.
Okay. So I like swipe across the back of his legs, and he sort of arcs up and then falls into the dust. Still alive, but heavily like wounded across.
Do you wanna like grab the ticket from his pocket using your sword? Because it'd be cooler that way.
Sure. I put a little hole because it's a very fine blade. Just a little hole as I just lift the ticket, and the ticket is just slightly covered in blood as well. And I don't even take it off the end of my sword. I turn around and goes, "Who's scum now?" And then I spit on him and turn around and walk down the street.
People watch you go quietly, eyes narrowed, no one saying a word.
Very well.
It seems you won the duel. Everything is gonna go perfectly fine.
Yay.
Right, finally. All right, Ian, you ready? Ian, are you dead? You're dead, aren't you? Ian, you're dead. I'm sorry. Goodbye, Ian. I loved you.
Yeah.
You okay? I can barely hear you. You alright?
I'm here.
Eat the microphone.
Yes. Slipped microphone.
Excellent. So, you are taken all the way up to past the Freebooters headquarters, which is on the other side of Silver Pass. It's only like maybe like a kilometer away. You can still see the fortress. It's like a low one-floor building, barrack-style area, and you can see that people are coming in across. It's like clerks like looking up signs, signing in all the people in, sorting out equipment, stuff like that. The militia are less of a malicious force and more of a like overall control force. So the ports, they control the people coming through. They've got harbor masters, quartermasters, sailing masters. They've got all those people kind of about. But of course, because you're with Ramon, he cuts straight through that until finally you come up to what looks like a small, warm office with like a fan, like a mini fan, like blowing across. One of those like fake windmill fans, like the paper ones, like just sitting up on someone's desk, like a really cute little colored one spinning, and this fairly robust woman, like fairly large, fairly buff. Well, I mean, you have to be militia when you don't fuck around. Sitting in front of like a stack of papers, she's like signing away. And she stops and she looks up at you. And she goes back down again, goes silent. She's like, "Ramon, what have I told you about bringing strays inside the building?" Ramon steps forward and goes, my lady, Lady Lindsay, I believe you wished, this woman here would like to speak to you. And she requested you personally." And then he looks over at you and gives the way forward.
Yeah. My name is Azucena Escavel.
That's nice. What do you want?
You are aware of the pirate captain Juan? And his dastardly deeds. Well,
Yes.
he's gone one further now, and he's kidnapped the bride-to-be of my employer, Prince Alexander.
All right. So what else do you have to tell me?
He's coming here, apparently, to the auction that's due this evening, by all accounts.
She sort of looks up and her eyebrows furrow and she goes, "You want Avery Vessia is coming here?"
That's what we're led to believe. There is a certain item. I don't know all the ins and outs, but apparently it's part of some kind of map leading somewhere. And he wants to get his hands on it, as do I and my party.
And then she leans back and she's like, she closes her book and she actually starts to look at you properly. And she looks you up and down and she goes, and why are you here then?
I'm here to tell you this in good faith, and hopefully perhaps we could form a mutual association against him if the need arises if things turn sour, if guns are drawn, blades are drawn. You seem to have some fine cannon overlooking the harbour.
I like it. What's called spend a raise. And she sort of leans back and she goes, all right, let's say I am working with you against Captain Avery. What would the point be? What would I gain from it? He has no reason. I have no reason to go against him. We welcome all pirates to this Silver Pass. All I do is control the Silver Pass and make sure nothing bad happens to it. As long as he keeps people away, I don't mind. Helping you will benefit you, but nothing to do with me.
Well, it's all to do with my employer, Prince Alexis. You know of him? I hate name dropping, but
she goes, I've heard he's in town, yes. The bars will not stop talking about his presence.
I'm sure there's something he can offer you. Wealth, position, favours in and beyond this island.
That will also cost you a raise.
I'm all out of raises.
All right. And she leans in. And she goes, all right. I'll tell you what I want. I want the fortress of the Haywoods. I want to see them thrown out. And I want to rule over the Silver Pass. Do you really think your prince can give that to me?
I could mention it to him, and if that fails, perhaps we could come up with a different approach to achieve the same result.
To agree with it, it'll cost you one more raise.
I don't have any raises, I'm afraid, madam.
She goes, that sounds fine, but I have a better idea. She says, looking you up and down, and then looking at Ramona, and she smiles. Then she looks up and goes, the auction happens tonight. So, why don't I get you in, and you simply do a job for me instead?
Very good, yes.
Excellent.
I shall do.
He looks at Ramon. Ramon, get the lady some free with the slash. What was your name again?
Ezio.
Ezio. Tonight, kill both Mr. and Senor and Senora Haywood, and I'll give you the head of Juan Avery Vessia.
It will be done.
All right, guys, I think that's a great place for us to have a quick break, because we've done all the dramatic scenes, and everyone's caught up, and everyone knows where they are, right? Everyone knows where they are? Everyone's okay?
Mm-hmm.
We're all going to the auction. Are we all excited?
Oh, yeah.
I fear this may be called the Red Auction after we are done somehow.
You'll be fine. Right, for everyone who's watching, which is 0 people because I must have bored someone to death by now, this will be this is a quick 5-minute break for everyone. Go get drinks, go get some water, go die horribly, and then we'll jump straight into the middle of the auction when we get back.
Okay.
Okay.
Except you, Dan. Dan, you have to stay and entertain the people who are listening to this later. So keep talking, Dan.
I
Just
hope
keep
you've
talking,
got a
man.
good auctioneer accent going. That really quick speech.
And I'm back. What did I miss?
No one else is back yet.
What? I said 5 minutes, guys. How's it going for you so far? Is it too slow? Is it okay?
That's okay. I just think the dice system takes a while for you, especially when you're trying to do it off dice roller, like trying to link everything up in your mind mentally and remember all the ones that you've done.
Oh, it's the fucking worst.
I've found the calculator where I bookmarked it before, and I'm just trying to use it again.
I was gonna use it, but it makes mistakes, as I discovered. So I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna use the normal number. Let's go for it. But again,
I mean,
I'll see you.
it seems okay. Like if I put in my trait of 5 for the panache, and then sword skill of 3, doesn't seem to be doing too badly.
That's because you're fighting a 7-class villain. It wasn't very high. That's like the lowest level of villains you're about to fight.
Okay.
The game gets a bit more interesting in a minute. Don't you worry. I promise not to bore you to death. Right, as soon as Ian gets back, we'll continue. I'm hoping that was the clue for Ian to magically turn up and be like, I'm here, guys. And I'm like, yeah! How's my volume, by the way? Is it still going okay?
Yeah.
Yep.
Awesome. But I think now everyone has a grasp of the dice system again, so we can go straight into the bullshit. Oh god, is Ian even there? Is he dead? Did Ian die?
No.
I loved you, Ian. You were too good for this world.
You're going to feel really bad if he has now.
I would feel really fucking shit if he just like, oh, by the way, I passed away. Oh, okay.
I'd be more scared about the fact he's there telling you he's passed away. That'd be the bit that scared the shit out of me.
Lloyd,
before I go, I just had to finish your game, Lloyd.
Like, please don't, just die. It's okay. Don't hold back for me.
What is the link to watch the game, by the way? Because I have someone who I want to watch.
Really? Okay.
Mhm.
I mean, you're welcome to it. Oh, you want to watch this game? Oh.
Yes, this game.
Hang on, I gotta find it. Where did I put that motherfucking link? It should be here. I don't know why they want to watch me fucking just look lame and shit, but okay. Here we go. The link is in chat. Just copy paste it to them, and then they can watch the auction.
Right, time to tune in. Have you got your auction voice down, Lloyd? Really quick.
Libertalia, large Libertalia, going once, going twice, going twice, going twice. We'll have 20 pieces of silver, 20 pieces of silver, 20 grams, 30 pieces of silver, 30 pieces of silver, 30 pieces of silver, 30 pieces of silver. I got a 40 pieces of silver. I'm not gonna do that.
You could have just said yes, Lloyd.
No, I couldn't have just said yes. Couldn't have just said yes.
I'll tell you what you need to do, man. The fucking auctioneer, instead of banging with a gavel at the end, he needs to have like half a coconut. He just like goes.
Will you stop with the Caribbean Spanish? Everyone's eating coconuts. That's as much as I know. All right, we're ready to go. Okay, guys, so we're gonna have a quick cutscene. You guys have a moment to regroup, come up with a plan, and then we're gonna go up to your auction. So go.
So I'm strolling down the road. I've pulled the ticket off my sword now, and I've put the sword back. I'm looking slightly rough, just slightly. And I go back to the pub, Is anyone even still there? Is Ezio still there? Or no, she's left. Everyone's gone. I go back to the pub first and sit there with a celebratory drink and a bloody ticket in my hand.
It's probably not long till the rest of them start to slowly turn up.
Hmm.
But they can describe it as they wish.
Well, I mean, we head back to the pub, not looking particularly any worse for wear, I suppose. Alexi's probably frowning a bit. He was not fond of the Haywoods, was it?
Yep, Haywoods.
Yep, he's not fond of their way of dealing with things.
Well, you guys can get to the pub with no issue whatsoever. Nothing gets in your way. So you can be at the pub anytime you want.
Okay.
When I see it go through the door, I'm like reclining back, quite happy, but covered in the odd scratch and shirt slightly cut in places. And I go, "You've had some success?"
Yes. I hope that you've had some success considering the state of your attire.
You should have seen the other guy. And I slam the ticket down on the table in front of me.
I look at the ticket and see some of the blood. Go, I think I am seeing some of the other guy.
Yes, he's a little worse for wear. You don't disparage if it's Poochie.
I must go. Leah walks in. Leah, who's your company, comes in. She goes, "Well, perhaps I didn't get myself dirtied amongst the floor and the common folk to get myself my ticket, but..." Then she flashes hers onto the desk. She goes, "Sometimes just having a quick word with someone you know and blackmailing them can get you where you want."
Indeed, I no doubt a lady of your breeding would easily be able to procure herself a ticket, Lady Leia.
Absolutely no problem whatsoever. I didn't even have to embarrass myself. At which point, Ezio and Angelo both Angelo walk in, and they're like, "Oh, hey guys."
Captain,
Everything all right? You guys get us some tickets?
yes, we've managed to secure ourselves tickets to this auction that is taking place.
Nice work. We were worried you couldn't make it.
Have the two of you had any success with yourselves, if you wish to attend, or?
Oh, we already had tickets to start with. We always have tickets.
Ah, splendid. I must admit you have somewhat of the advantage of me. I'm not a native to these waters.
Don't worry about it. It's just the way we are. Ezio says it's down. It's just we did a favor for the Haywoods maybe 7 years ago. We're always welcome to that home without any kind of invitation needed. Lovely
Excellent.
couple, says Angelo, and Ezio's like, "Yeah, sure, lovely."
It's good to have friends in high places.
I wouldn't say hi.
I've seen their house. It's on top of a large hill.
Geographically high places.
Ezio leans in and goes, "Even the lowest of scum can pretend to be on the top if they sit upon a pile of shit."
How long have the Haywoods been in charge around here?
20 years. And every single day it shows.
Yes, we had an audience with them. I'm not the friendliest of folk.
They aren't good people, but they're the best people when it comes to what they do best. They play with the minds of the ones around them. They're dangerous folk, and you should be careful what you say in front of them. For they'll find their way to use it against you for their own whim and pleasure. But they're also the reason why the Silver Pass is this safe. And also a safe haven, even with the freebooters hoping to be a bit more secure. With one and not the other, this place wouldn't last very long.
We seem to be missing one of our member. I hope she hasn't got herself into too much trouble.
Ezio arrives at that moment in time, looking slightly something on her mind, but she does come in and sits down on the same table and draws out a ticket. I have one too.
So everyone has a big smile on their face, and everyone puts the tickets in front of themselves. So now there's like a round table of like all 7 of you sitting in front of like these tickets like laid in front of you, looking badass as fuck. Having acquired these tickets in like the last like hour, when it took people like days or weeks or months to do.
I like the idea that the camera sort of pans around all these pristine tickets, and then there's mine with a sword hole through it and blood over it.
Can't have everything.
Well,
Right.
then, gentlemen, how long do we have before the auction begins?
The sun is setting over the Silver River, the Silver Water, of the Silver Pass. Basically, in the next 2 or 3 hours.
Well, we have a couple of hours to kill, as it were, Prince Alexei. Do you wish to sample some of the local colour, or is there something else that you wish to do in the meantime?
I'd be glad of a nice meal before we head off. I think I would, after floating for half a day in the middle of the ocean, work up quite an appetite.
Very well. I'll go and see what a repast they can offer in a place like this. Then I'll head off to go and get some food.
Is it worth getting some sort of information on the auction house, or what are the lots are showing, or just any lay of the land?
You can do that.
Like a back entrance at the very least, or something.
You tell me what you're looking for, and I can give it to you. Or you gotta just tell me what your approach is, and then we can make a roll.
Well, I was discussing with the group, is it worth, like Reki was mentioned previously, is it worth getting some sort of idea of who's coming to this, or like what is being shown, what the security's like?
It may be worth knowing the lay of the land if we're going to enter into the lion's den, so to speak.
Yeah, I will volunteer to help in that mission.
Okay. So, could I write like a list of like information I'd want to know about the area?
No, you can. Well, if you want to know anything else, figure out what you want to know. Tell me you're going to go find out. We'll make a roll. I'll tell you the consequences, the opportunities, and everything you want to know. Each one costs 1 raise.
Okay.
If Ezio was going to do some sort of sneaking around, could I go in front of house and try talk and distract the people? Like, could I get an eye for the security, like entrance and exits? An idea of when our particular lot, which lot the map is, and when it is, if it is first or at the end of the night or somewhere in the middle or something like that.
Yep. Like I
Who's
said,
interested?
all you have to do is tell me what you want to do. We'll make the roll.
Okay.
That's all perfectly viable.
Using panache, can I talk to people, and then potentially using empathy or diplomacy, or?
I am not gonna give you panache because even though it's all about, hey, what's up, let's party.
Okay.
You're trying to be a bit more subtle about it. I'll give you wits.
And the skill?
I will give you empathy. That's fine.
Okay. Sweet. That's 5 dice.
Before you roll, though, do you want to hear what the consequences are?
Sure.
The consequences are, if you go do this, heck yeah, going around asking for stuff, you will alert the freebooters to knowing that someone has been intentionally asking for escape routes. So your escape routes may possibly be a bit more guarded, even though they still will exist. There might be that extra 2 guards put on duty. The opportunity is, you might see something that you weren't supposed to see till the auction started.
Okay. Why not? I have 5 dice. I'll use a hero point to give myself up to 6, and I think that'll be pretty much all of it. 1, 2, and I can re-roll one of those. 6. Excellent.
Right, have fun with the math.
1, 2, 3, and a spare dice if you want it.
Nah, I'm alright. I've got 5. I'm doing pretty good.
Okay.
Right. So for every question you ask, I will answer based on the security of the area. And then you've also got your consequence of 2 and your opportunity of 1.
Basically, I'm interested in who's interested in like who's coming, like people we should kind of look out for that. Who's shown interest in that map?
Alright, so the map has gained the interest of pretty much every other pirate that's put themselves forward. The major
Sure.
ones that have definitely put themselves forward to be definitely seen would be Woodford the Barbarian Duel and Delton Coombs. Recently, though, no, I can't give you that. That will cost an extra. No, I can give you that. Recently, though, since his brother has been taken out, Claxon Marco has now expressed interest in the map.
So there's at least 3 named pirates that are of considerable power, I guess, in the region. Then could I spend 1 on the opportunity and... So the information I gained there, that cost me 1.
That
Or was
cost you
that part?
2 because you didn't ask about the area you were in. You
Okay.
asked about the people, which is a different approach to what you said.
Okay. Well, I guess that's it then.
Gonna get 2 successes?
Oh no, I thought 1 would have to go towards doing it. Oh, but if that was the case, then I'll ask about the opportunity. Why not?
As you're there, sort of minding your own business, you turn to you sort of like you're like chatting around the people looking about. You notice there's a side door that has been opened, and shrouded people are slowly making their way in. And as they come in, they're carrying a cage.
Okay.
It's
Do I
a
hear any?
cage with lights completely over it. But as they come forward, you've got a symbol of Juan Avery Vessia on the cage. It must be one of its more like dangerous possessions.
Do I hear any noises coming from the cage?
Nope. That will cost you a raise if you want to get closer.
I don't have anything else, so that's fine.
But
then.
as you do, the people are like, "What are you looking at?" And you see some of the freebooters sort of stop and look at you. Some of them clocking as to what happened earlier. One of them runs off to still tell the boss.
Okay.
Right, who's next? Anyone else want to do anything?
Yep. So Ezzy's meant to be casing the joint too, although she's got her own agenda in mind. What my approach is to try and find the or realise the process of arrival of various coaches, to see where the coaches would like to, well, is there a coach park basically?
Yeah, okay. I can guess there is a coach park, but I will let you roll because the consequences of you going for this action isn't that people will spot you. It's that while you are there, you're going to be roped in to start working, so you're not going to have time to tell everyone else what you find out. And the opportunity for you is that you may see something you weren't meant to see.
Okay, so what am I using? Rolling against?
I would say casing the joint using just your eyes to look about would be wits, and then whatever skill you think applies. So justify it to me.
Deception, I guess, if somebody's trying to rope me into doing some work. rather than it's not nothing else, nothing like theft or ambush. I'm just trying to work out a process.
Make the roll.
So that would be
And while you
fine.
do that, I'm going to quickly jump onto the other two. Guys, what are you two doing before the option starts?
Do we have any explosives on any of the ships?
Yes, if you spend a hero point.
So I want to try and set up some kind of like, if shit hits the fan, some kind of distraction that will allow us to get out.
I don't mind spending a hero point for the explosives.
Yeah, you've got like a shit ton of explosives on your. Why does this always happen to me? Yeah, you've got a shit ton of explosives on your ship.
Okay. Basically, I just want some of the crew to set up and sort of. It doesn't really matter what is exploded, but some kind of loud, explosive charge nearby that would be heard by anyone inside, but wouldn't actually damage any of us, and would allow us to potentially get an advantage on escaping if we need to.
Okay.
Might I suggest, Prince, that if we lowered several of the barrels of black powder into one of the longboats, pushed it a safe distance away from the vessel, and then lit it from a distance, that may provide the distraction that you're looking for.
Yeah, that sounds like it would work.
I will give it to you. That'll be one race to do that, but it will cost you 3 races to have it. So when that does happen and you are escaping, it doesn't light up your own ship like a Christmas tree.
Okay.
And that's a 3 consequence cost.
Okay.
No opportunities because nothing there you can see. Meanwhile, back to Ian. Ian, what has Ezio found out?
So what do I roll for that?
That will probably be you're commanding a whole bunch of people to do something, right? So, what skill?
Yes.
What trait would I use for that?
Maybe tactics or warfare.
I'll give you tactics for skill, and I will give you wits.
Okay.
It's more of a witty thing you're doing than for now.
Okay. Well, if I'm commanding people to other characters towards a single goal, my army officer background kicks in.
Fine, take it for your points. Jesus Christ.
Okay.
All right. Is everyone? One more thing, Ian. What'd you get?
Yeah, 3.
3. Okay. So how are you gonna spend them? There's 1 for what you want to do, 2 to avoid your consequence, and a third one for the opportunity.
We rolled 2.
It'll cost 2 for consequence and 1 for the opportunity.
Well, I need to succeed, definitely. And I'd rather not get roped in, so I'll spend the other 2 on that and forget the opportunity.
Okay. There is a coach area that exists just inside the main grounds. Once the doors open, the coaches come in, and then people will settle in where they are, and then they'll go inside the major building for the real party.
Right. Okay, I'm formulating a plan slowly.
Excellent. And I think that's everyone, but Roberta, you doing anything special?
Well, after the splendid plan to set off the black powder, etc., I'm probably going to be wandering around the area. I'll be trying to use my sort of noble background, see if I can mix in with people who are maybe slightly more towards the noble side of the spectrum. Again, just to get a general feel of sort of who's interested in this auction, who of significance, aside from like random pirate captains, is likely to be there.
Oh, I like it. Make me a roll. Your consequence. Oh, what consequence should I give you for that one? If you're trying to mingle with them, your consequence is that you will find yourself attached to one, whether you like it or not.
When you say attached, how do you mean?
I mean, as the auction starts, they're going to come up to you and be like, "Let's be friends."
Oh, that's grand. I don't mind that. All right. Okay. So I'll go for finesse and
I'll give you finesse. No, I'll give you
tempt.
panache because you're chatting to people.
All right, panache and tempt because I'm trying to like attract people so that I can find out what's going on.
Go on then.
Okay, let's see. So 5, 6. That's 1, 2, 3.
3.
Yep.
So you've got 1 for that, for
Yep.
finding out who the posh people are going in. You've got 2 to get rid of your consequence. Is there opportunity I can give you? I think I've given all the opportunity. No, there is one more opportunity. One more opportunity is that you can. Oh, Scott, I will. No. I've already had the whole see what you don't need to be seen. Basis for that. Opportunity is there. The final opportunity is that you will gain the knowledge of people such as people who are on the side of Yuan who will be turning up there.
Okay, yeah, I presume that's going to cost me 2, is it?
That's going to cost you 2 as well. So you
Okay,
get
yeah,
rid of the
so-
consequence or you get rid of that. I'm warning you now, this consequence might be heavy.
That's fine, man. It's all good. I'll take the consequence and I'll go for finding out about who's on Juan's side.
Excellent. From what you can tell, from the people who are going through, all the pirates are on Juan's side. Every single one. Rutherford Drool, Delton Combs, and Claxon Marco are all on the Yuan's side. They want to fly his flag and be welcome into Libertalia so they can come forward. That's what you find out from that. You also find out that quite a few more posher people are turning up who are like visiting the area and enjoying the style, such as Belden and Everlid Camden, who are twins from Castilia, who are more like traveling nobles who are like, oh, let's go see what pirates are like. Oh my! They are loaded, they are rich, and they're dumb.
Like them already.
Damn right. That's what you find out. Don't worry about consequence for now. That's for later. Everyone done?
Mm-hmm.
I think.
I think so.
Okay. Is everyone ready? Is everyone now ready for the final finale of the adventure today? I hope.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Give me 1 second.
Yep.
Some more notes.
Are you able to copy the names of all of these people in this?
Sorry. Let me go quickly.
Into the
Right,
chat.
so, Radford, Belton, and Claxton are the pirates.
Sweet.
And if I can just click there. Oh, sorry, I got last name. Yeah, it's Claxton. It's Claxton and Elvin, and Evelyn Camden are the brothers.
But we've managed to all get back and tell each other
Mhm.
various information. I did. With Alexia and Roberto going and having that conversation about slavery, did you recite some of that back to us in terms of what you talked to them about, or just said that they weren't very nice people?
I probably would have recited it if asked, or like if asked for details.
Okay. Because if you had talked about slavery and I see a cage, there's a certain leap that I might make.
Hmm.
That it might, and then because presumably the cage looked like it could fit a person.
I guess in a way, it technically could have fit a person if they were
Okay.
crouched down. It wasn't even that big.
If they were crashed, possibly. Okay. Well, I'm curious about the size of the cage, and if they are selling people at this auction, could be a slave auction.
It could happen. I mean, if the cage is full of is full of people who are just like unconscious on the ground, it won't have to be that big, would it?
No, it's just a thought. So depending on because if you made your stances clear about slavery, we may want to liberate some people.
Yeah. That's that would definitely be something. Depending on what's inside,
Mm-hmm.
definitely worth keeping an eye on. Anyway, do we know if the auction for that particular thing is before or after the?
Unfortunately, no one went to find out the order of the auction.
Oh, okay. I'm sure there'll be some kind of booklet when we get in there.
Right, so are we ready to go to auction now? Everyone okay?
Mm-hmm.
Right, so cutting to the auction, how are you guys making your approach? Because there's you can hire a cart, have it drive you in, you can walk through the front door, you can be a pair, you can separate, you can do what you want.
Well, I'm planning on basically just strutting up flamboyantly.
Looking fabulous as always.
Naturally.
Yeah.
I might even get a new feather for my hat.
Oh, go on.
I would like to try and take some sort of area of tactical advantage, perhaps like near the back or near the doors, or I don't mind if I'm standing necessarily, but trying to be relatively inconspicuous. And I just want to be able to keep an eye on the room.
Ezio will be perhaps one pace behind Prince Alexis.
Remember, Ezio, you also have a sash, so you can pretend to be a freebooter if you want.
Okay, that's stashed in my blouse. Incidentally, I'm not wearing a dress.
Okay.
Just to get that clear. Yeah.
Gotcha. And what about you, Prince?
I presume there's not really much point in me sort of trying to hide in the back or anything. So I will sort of take a place sort of front and center, so as to take eyes on me rather than the rest of my comrades, so I can move a bit more freely.
I think that's fair. You're standing at the front looking cool. The doors open wide as you all come in your various forms and everything. All the other pirates are dressed to the nines in nice clothing. Even Ezio and Angelo are trying their best to look good. Angelo's trimmed his beard a little bit. He's hiding his tattoos. Ezio just put his glasses back on and instantly becomes mild mannered. He's literally Superman. They're all walking, giving us to everyone else, being all polite, saying hello. The Haywards have not turned up yet because they'll be waiting for the auction to start. But the various other guests in the garden who turn out the carts happily greet each other with hidden grimaces and slightly ideas of stabbing people in the back and all that jazz. They go inside the auction, which is this large ballroom with multiple stairs running up and down with multiple layers. It's a big imagine a big room, right? Big room, giant fucking chandelier in the middle, multiple layers just around it so you can look around, stairs running up and down these layers that go to different parts, and people are just allowed to roam all about this 4-story building as much as they want. 4 stories being ground floor, first floor, second floor, third floor. This is English. England, I have to remember that, clarify that. So there's 3 stories. It's 3 floors up, including and the ground. Oh fucking hell! I hate this game.
Just take a deep cleansing breath, man.
It's 4 stories, ground floor, first floor, second floor, third floor, stairs, and areas you can stand around, go into this one giant room, this huge chandelier, beautifully pristine, hanging just above everyone else. And the guards come in. You all take your special spots. The prince goes forward and he struts on forward like a prince. And then as he struts forward, both twins, Belden and Evelyn, strut up next to him. It's oh my! Isn't this a coincidence to see your beautiful face here?
I assume I know these two.
Yes, the what's called the Castilians.
Okay. Oh, it's good to see the both of you. Not quite the soiree I usually see you at.
Oh, brother, he thinks that we're Eswale. Oh, brother, I know. It's insane, isn't it? Oh, brother, all these for their cheese, they just don't know what's good for them. Oh, brother, I know exactly what you mean. We must say we're when they speak together and I start the camera, they're speaking at the same time. Oh,
Okay.
we must say, Alexi, it's such a pleasure to meet you. Well, brother, it's not that much of a pleasure to meet you. Well, it is a little bit. Oh, we can't help ourselves. What brings you here?
He Alexis sort of rubs his head and goes, "Oh, brother," and
You get that a lot.
yeah, I can imagine. There's a few interesting pieces I hear are on sale today, so I thought I would take part in the auction. It could be fun.
Oh, that is a great idea. Oh, we'd love to. Oh, I can't wait to bet on some things. I'm personally looking forward to that map of Libertalia I've heard about. Me too, brother. Me too. And they both can go, me too. What about you? And then they both lower their voice and their eyebrows lower and they look you directly in the eye. What are you here for exactly?
Oh, I didn't realize I didn't realize there was an interesting map on sale. Maybe that, perhaps whatever's in that interesting looking cage over there. I don't know. I'm prepared to be surprised.
They both look at you and they lower their eyes and then they go back to being happy again and go, well, good luck. We wish you the best. And then they both like flounder away and then like go get drinks and speak to some other beautiful captain ladies if they can. The pirate captains, as they're walking in, sort of all of them like walk past you. Enno, except for one that stops and then turns his head towards you and then makes his way towards you slowly by foot by foot. And he sort of stops and then he looks you up and down and he goes, so this is the man that beat my brother in the duel.
Yes. Yes,
You
it
didn't
is.
give your name. I would have you give it, so I know the man that I must slay.
When were you planning on doing that?
Perhaps someday after you give me your name.
You can call me V. I forgot to leave my calling card at the... Oh, it's been bothering me all day. I meant to cut it into your brother's chest.
He stops and he cocks his head and he goes, V, huh?
Mm.
Well, in which case, you can call me Coxon Marco. And I'll be seeing you later.
I'm sure you will.
He takes a step back quietly, his eyebrows lowering as he looks you directly in the eye.
V puts on a Guy Fawkes mask and
I did a lot of Zorro stuff last session with leaving V's everywhere.
Ezio, you're having a fairly decent time. No one's bothering you because people don't want to mess with the chick who's not wearing a dress and looks like she'll fucking kill people. But as you're standing there, sort of mind your own business, Ramon sort of walks up to you and he's like sort of casually looking around in his like freebooter uniform. He's like, you know, you don't have to do what she says.
Okay. Speak on.
I have a boat not far from here. We can sail off into yours. We can get on one of the boats that are leaving in this area. We can leave this area and maybe find adventure together again. It's been so long since I've traveled. We don't have to stay here, you know.
After the auction?
If you do what she says, we may not have a chance after the auction.
I glance over it and gesture towards the prince. I have a job here. Whether I carry out your mistress's plans as well, don't know. I'm still undecided.
And you refuse me again? After so many years of not seeing you? Once again, I'll have to go back and live another boring life without you. It's so much fun to be around.
I know, but this man represents a lot more than we had, I'm afraid, Ramon. Our times were good, and there were times that suited our particular predicament. But things have moved on. There are grander schemes in effect that affect nations rather than just the two of us. And that's where my life is going now. But thank you for everything you've done.
And he goes, I'll be here if you ever change your mind. The seas always call for people like us. You might think you get away with it now with this man, but he will never be as... What's the word I'm looking for? Ecstatic as I am. And he smiles like a little wise smile, and then he walks off. And finally, Roberto, you're standing around. You've got glasses on,
Hello.
looking fabulous as ever. You're sort of just bopping around the whole area. People are like moving into quiet spaces to sort of mind their own business, all that jazz. And you sort of hear like a voice somewhere behind you, like in a bit of darkness, and it goes, "It's funny. I never thought I'd be seeing your like around here."
Still with a glass of something fairly strong in my hand, I'll swing round in the direction of it. I'm actually sort of feigning my character being a little bit on the tipsy side, whereas, as you know, my character has an extremely strong tolerance for alcohol. But I'm sort of feigning that I'm a little bit tipsy and a little bit worse for wear. So I'll sort of swing slightly drunkenly around and peer at whoever is talking to me from the darkness.
There is a man sitting in on this huge couch. He's just sort of leaned back, but the candlelights are off, so you can't see him fully. And he sort of just leans back forward, and he sort of like he sort of goes. He sort of looks at it and goes, "Unfortunately, when we last met, I didn't get a chance to catch your name, Captain."
Do I recognize the voice?
No, you never heard it before.
You know me somehow, sir?
He goes, "Yes," and then he leans forward so the light catches his face. "When I last met you, you had gone through my blockades." As Juan Avery Vessia puts a step forward and smiles at you, he goes, "Now, would you like to join me for a drink? And perhaps your name?"
Far be it from me to turn down a polite offer from one captain to another. I would be delighted to join you for a drink.
He gestures to his side of the couch.
I will sit down next to him, and then I will say, "My name, sir, is Roberto de Gallo."
He takes a glass up and he chinks with him. He goes, "I am Juan Avery Vessia. Pleasure to meet you." Fine.
Likewise, sir.
Right, leaving on the side for now, because you're going to be chatting for a bit, the auction starts up. Oh crap, I've got kind of off. There we go. The auction starts up. So as the auction starts up, items start to come through. First up is just like a bunch of like really nice looking jewels. A whole bunch of extras. If anyone wants to bet on anything I'm saying so far, feel free to let me know and I will go into the betting details. I'm assuming you're all waiting for the big one, aren't you?
Well, I definitely want to see if this cage, what this sort of cage type thing is as well.
No problem. The princes buy a few of the trinkets. Some of the as the auction goes on and on, more expensive things start to come up. So like they start selling like a special cannon that shoots like charges up with magical energy and shoots actual weird dust upon the water to make it ice, and that starts to go as well. And a whole bunch of like extra prize items are going through. Meanwhile, as you guys are all like being all sociable, Ewan and Roberto are sort of like sitting there just chatting to each other in the darkness. And then Ewan goes, "So tell me, what is it about this auction that brings you, of all people, down to this place?"
So what was that? You cut out for a second there.
Sorry, he goes, what is it about this auction that brings you down? None of your friends seem to be trying to buy anything.
Well, I'm here escorting a personage of some importance. I have no direct interest in the auction myself. I'm simply here performing a function for which I expect to be compensated adequately.
I think that sounds fair.
Indeed, after all, good intentions are one thing, but we're men of the sea. We know what colour really makes this world go round.
Yes, red, the color of blood.
Indeed, sir.
In which case, I'm sure you'll be very interested to hear what's the next auction is going to be. At which point, the auctioneer, who is like this fairly old man, he doesn't go and one, he doesn't do that. He just raises up, basically lift their hands up to say they're betting, and then he goes, and now presenting the second to last item, and then they bring up the cage, and then they rest it on top, and then they take a deep breath, and then they go, presented here in its rarest form, one of the most rarest game ever to be gotten. A fate witch, a witch you can see through time and space itself. A woman of great power who is beyond anything that any man could ever imagine. I present to you, and they pull the curtain down, Miss Dominetta Vespucci, as you see your wife to be, and your sister, Enno, and also, I think it's you two, lying there.
I knew it.
On her hands, just slowly getting up. And she looks around and she looks a little bit dazed. And he goes, betting begins now. What do you guys do?
Unfortunately, my hubris is that I flip into a rage very, very easily. I would like to have been spending my time while other people are talking and things like that. I'm curious in the chandelier, and specifically where the chandelier is tied off.
Mm-hmm. The chandelier is kind of not that far away.
So it wouldn't take me that far to travel over there and cut the rope.
No, it wouldn't, if it was that easy.
Well, I'm no one of my allies are near me, and I'm absolutely furious at my sister being caged for everyone's pleasure and then sold. So I'm about to kick off.
All right, so you're gonna rush towards the
wherever it's tied off, where the chandelier is tied off.
It's not that far off. It's a little bit further out of the way of everyone else, so you have to go through a door to get there.
Okay, however far and however quickly I can get there, I will try to get there.
All right, so you start to make your way there. You're like running, you're walking as fast as you can to get there, like really pushing it, and then you swing open the door. You take a few steps in. You realize it's a little bit dark, so you can't see, and then you see the glint of a pistol.
Do I have time to dodge back around the door frame before it goes off, or charge him, or something? Okay.
No, you don't, but you have enough time to see the flare of the gun as Marco's brother shoots at you. Deal with you in a minute. What are the rest of you guys doing?
I'm keeping a close eye on my new drinking companion.
Ewan is sitting there going, did I tell you how I found her? She was a beautiful, beautiful little bride-to-be, about to marry some schmuck that thinks himself a prince. I simply relieved her of her duties and thought I'd display her here for all the world to see.
And I'm sure you'll make a tidy profit from her sale, of course.
A fate witch? Do you have any idea how much those things cost? A fortune to be able to see into the future of men's lives and health. It's a pity I can't have her on my team. She's a bit too
willful.
Volatile.
Ah.
What about the rest of you two? What are you doing?
Yep. Well, quick glance at the prince, and then I shall rush forward to release her.
You're gonna run towards the cage?
Yep.
All right, there are about 4 of the freebooters in your way. How are you gonna get past them?
As I see
Ezzy.
as he run forward, I sort of make the signal or whatever it is for the explosion to go off.
Blow it up, blow it up, blow it up, blow it up.
Yeah, or whatever we'd sort of arranged beforehand to be the signal.
No problem. What had you arranged? Who had you arranged to make the signal?
It was members of the crew, various.
Yeah.
So
Perhaps you've had like a sort of younger member of the crew, like one of the cabin boys or something, with us, and we just sort of send him off to go and like run and like, I don't know, wave a bit of cloth or whatever, so the people on the ship will see
Yeah.
it.
So it will take a good minute or two for that to happen, right?
Yeah, but obviously we've not really got any sort of instantaneous method of communication. So
no.
So you've still got to try and find a way to stop Ezzy from about to basically commit social suicide.
Okay. I put sort of a hand on her shoulder, and go, and sort of just whisper in her ear, go, wait for it. So you'll have an opportunity in a minute.
Finally,
Okay.
I think that's everyone, right? That is everyone. Okay, so we're gonna go straight towards you being shot.
If the gun goes off in like the room next to the auction house, I imagine all hell is going to break loose.
Pretty much, if the noise wasn't muffled. Go.
Am I going first, or
Yeah,
right?
Just make sure you scream when you get shot.
yeah.
Uh,
Remember, it's a bit away from everything, so they have enough time to be like, what the fuck's going on? But they can always continue the auction anyway. But he has you where he wants you. That's
and
what
he's in between me and the rope.
Yep. Tell me what you want to do.
I will dive. I guess I'll dive into combat with him, but I will shout, "I went easy on your brother and I kept him alive. You shall not be so lucky."
All right, so let's do this. Roll your approach and let's go for a one-on-one battle quickly.
6, 7, 8. To that. Double.
One, two, three. I hate the math in this game. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
I'm going to use 2 of the points as well.
Probably a good point.
And then I'll re-roll those 2s.
So what's your approach?
I'm going to try and kill him.
Excellent.
Straight out kill him. Whereas I wasn't with the brother, I'll just run him through.
No problem. Your consequences, by the way, of 2 is that you will not have enough time to get out of the way of the gun. So you will take the gun's bullet as a normal wound before the normal attacks begin.
Okay.
that'll be a
And what's
2
my
consequence
advantage?
Opportunity is that you can probably, if you spend 1 on opportunity, you can probably cut the rope.
Okay. What and how is the disadvantage a 2 or
Yeah, it's two raises.
right? I'm just trying to get everything down. Those 2, those 2.
Take your time. Go for the numbers. The rest of you guys, once this bit is resolved, because it'll dictate what happens in your room, because the chandelier's going to fall. I'm pretty sure he's going to let the chandelier fall, even though he's going to take a shit ton of damage for it. Is that you all need to decide what you're going to do during that moment.
Well, for myself personally, I'm waiting for the prince's signal, so I'm sort of holding back at the minute.
So I'm just waiting for maximum chaos in the room, and then I'm going to sort of dash forward to try and release my bride-to-be, I assume along with as his help.
Yeah, I'll just be surreptitiously loosening a couple of daggers for a quick throw.
I've got 5 and a spare dice if you want to buy it.
Oh no, it's okay. I'm fine. I've got 8.
He's 8.
Yeah.
All right, stop bragging.
Sorry guys, he's a pirate captain, a proper one. He's nails. So, who's got highest amount of raises? Is that me?
Yeah.
Okay, so he shoots the gun, he drops the gun, he draws a scimitar, and then he goes to slice you for 4 wounds.
So, what am I like, if I'm spending 2 of these to defend from the shot, 1 of them to cut the rope,
Yeah.
I have
And-
2 left.
And you got 1. That's opportunity, and you still got 1 left for your own approach. Remember, this is detailed on spend. So he just spent 4 of his raise to go on to 4,
Okay.
but he's doing
But if
4
I want the-
wounds to you.
Yeah. But if one of my 5 is for the opportunity and 2 of them is to avoid the bullet, whatever that's going to do, can I spend the other 2 to reduce the wounds by 2? Or
Yep.
right, I'll do that then.
Cool. So how many you got left?
That's all of mine.
That's all. Wait, you spent all your bullets, all your things to avoid the wound?
What? 2 of them is for the bullet, whatever the bullet's damage was going to be. I don't. 2 of them was to avoid some of his damage,
Yeah.
and then 1 of them was to cut the rope.
Cool.
That's all 5 of my raises.
Oh shit! Then that's not. Well, you can always cut it down. Remember, your wounds refresh after combat, so you
Oh,
don't
so
have those
I'm
4
down to
wounds from
0.
before.
Damage.
Yeah, your damage from before you don't have it.
Okay. Is he is he doing 4 wounds to me or 4 damage?
4 damage to you.
Right. Okay. Wait. Then I'll cut the rope, avoid the bullet, and have 2 left over, and take 4 damage.
Remember, your approach was to kill him.
Sure.
Okay, so just to clarify it, your approach is to kill him. The
Yeah.
consequence was avoid the bullets, and your opportunity was cut the rope.
Yeah. But now he's also attacking me with a sword.
Yes, because that's his was to attack you with the sword,
Sure.
and his consequence was not to be hit by you, but he doesn't want the consequence as a villain.
Okay. So I spend 2 to dodge the bullet, 1 to cut the rope, and then I use 2 to attack him.
Yes.
Right. But I take
But
4
it's
damage
not-
in the process.
Yeah, but it's done it's done in a certain like amount of raises all the way through.
Sure. Okay.
So we start from the highest. He spends 4 to try and attack
Mhm.
you. You spend 2 to avoid the bullet. Then he has a whole bunch left. But he
Okay.
won't spend it to damage you. He'll try and spend it basically to take opportunity to get you unaware. So he lets you go through. You go to the rope and you cut it, and then
Mhm.
he stands by the door, stopping you from leaving.
Okay.
Is that fair?
Sure.
Are you okay with me, Dan? Dan, are you alright?
Yeah. I've got 2 points left. So can I use that to damage him back?
Yeah.
Sure. I will attack him then. Is that for 2 wounds on his, or does he defend from
Yep.
them?
2 wounds from his. Oh, wait,
Okay.
he can defend because he's got plenty left. So yeah, he'll defend with 2.
Okay.
So you don't get shot. You take 4 damage. You go to strike with him, and he blocks your strike away.
Okay.
Next up, let's see. So you guys are done for now. Everyone in the room right now, the chandelier starts to shake, and then it falls. What do you do?
You know when the chandelier starts to fall, does it literally come directly down, or is it doing like the whole sort of like swinging thing as it's sort of like the ropes cut?
Yeah, it does a swinging thing, and then it drops. So everyone goes,
Okay.
What the fuck? Oh shit!
At which point then, what I'd like to do is, as it sort of swings so it's nearer to where I am, if at all possible, I'd effectively like to jump onto the chandelier, and then as it falls, sort of basically using my weight and momentum to have it so it sort of falls a bit nearer to the cage. At which
Okay.
point I will disembark from my makeshift transport.
I'll give it to you. What about the rest of you two?
I should like to ensure that the chandelier doesn't fall on the prince.
I'd also like to ensure that.
Drag him
Okay.
away.
Both of you make me rolls.
Okay.
One raise for all of you will be you do what you want. Your consequences are for you two will be with the shards flying at you, so 2 wounds each. And for you, Roberto, would be that when you swing in, you swing through the glass, so 3 wounds each. 3 wounds on you.
Okay,
No
what's my
opportunities this time.
rolling for this?
You will roll finesse and either anything that gets you out of the way of anything else. Oh, just so you know, this is a timed event, so when I get to raise 2, that's when the chandelier will fall.
Okay.
Oh, that's 3 for me.
That's 2 for me.
1, 2, 3.
Okay, so we start at raise 3, so it's about to fall. It's swinging just at that. Who's on 3?
Me.
So now you can jump on.
Yeah, jump on. I'm literally just going to turn around, bolt across like the little sort of, I don't know, like veranda or whatever that we're sat on, 'cause it's on the sort of higher level, then just leap off the edge, grab hold of the ropes, of using my momentum to swing it outwards towards where the cave is, so the cages.
And that's, as you leave, Ewan's like, I hope we meet again. He's gone. You swing in. You grab onto it. Anyone else on 3?
Yep.
Take an action.
I shall grab the prince's arm and drag him away.
Which is enough to make him avoid being hit, but it doesn't really matter because number 2 hits, the chandelier falls, it smacks into the ground. Consequence, who's on 2?
Me.
Me.
What do you want to do, boys?
Avoid getting hit.
Which is spend 2 to do that.
2. Yep.
My plan is to, as it falls, sort of before it hits the ground, to sort of leap off it a few moments before. Trying to put myself as close to the cage as possible.
You go into a roll. The whole party's a little bit like, what the fuck? The cage just fell. The cage itself sort of stops, and the girl sort of looks up, and she looks a bit dazed, like, oh, what the heck? And she's swinging her head around a little bit. And finally, that's it. That's everyone, right?
Did the chandelier not crush a single soul then?
Well, yeah. Yes, it did. It did. A bunch of people are dying, but I want to make sure everyone's sorted out before I go on to that.
Yep, we're all right.
Yeah. There's no more raises left, right? Everyone's done.
Yeah, done.
Okay, so you grab the chandelier, you swing at it, the ropes snap, they come all the way down. You let go just in time as the glass hits the ground. It shatters everywhere. You see freebooters, people panicking everywhere. She covers herself over with a cloth, and like it's like the cage takes most of the blood. There's people just screaming like everywhere. There's blood. It's nasty. It's freaking horrible. Someone gets horribly crushed and falls off a cliff or something. I don't know what the hell happened. People are just like panicking all around, but that's the first round. The pirate captains both of them start to make their way towards the cage. Ewan gets up, and he just slowly starts to walk towards the door.
When does the explosion go off?
The explosion will go off now.
Okay.
Literally, you hear this massive explosion. Of course, like there's panic fucking everywhere. The actual castle shakes a bit. And right now, you know for well that your boat might have caught a few embers on the like the That's what I'm looking for. Sails, but I'm sure you'll be fine. You'll be fine. Not have to worry.
I did pay to avoid that.
Oh, did you? Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
you're fine. All right, so that was round 1. Everyone goes into round 2. What are your approaches?
Does the explosion and/or chandelier put me at any advantage in this fight? Is he distracted in any way?
I would say, yeah, we'll give you that he's slightly distracted by what's going on outside.
Is it? Does that at all even the playing field in Enno's opinion, or am I still vastly outclassed?
It's not that you're outclassed. He's just fucking nails. You can still win the duel if you play smart, but he's not fighting smart. He's fighting dirty. Your best bet is to either get someone to help you or to wound him enough to not have him worry about that.
Well, I think I'm in a corner. If I get 5 successes from 10 dice, and that's me boosting my own dice, and he gets 8 anyway, I don't think I can win that fight. So,
if it's possible, Lloyd, would it be possible for me at this point, since we can spend our hero points to like give one of our associates 3 additional dice?
Mm-hmm.
Would it be possible, given that I've potentially just sort of like crashed down riding a chandelier next to sort of near potentially where this is going on, to say that sort of like basically spend the point to give him the extra dice to represent the fact that maybe he sort of catches sight of me and his attention's like drawn to me a bit, sort of distracting him a little bit more.
So he turns around to the door. Yeah, I'll give it to you. You can give him 3 dice.
There you go, have 3 dice.
thank you. That put me at 11 base. I could boost that further. I was considering.
Remember, your approach can also be don't fight him.
I know. I was wondering as part of the distraction whether I could run away, but then also I'm really hot-headed, and I did all this in anger anyway. So I don't know if I'd then just wuss out.
Hey, you got a hero point for it. Just makes it use it right.
I think my attention. Well, I've done what I came here to do to an extent, and that's cut the rope. I might be more concerned for my sister's well-being than my own, so I'll attempt to. Can I something more than push past him, like fight him into a corner and then back out of the door or something?
I'll give it to you. So you want to like fight him around like in a circle, so like block
Yes.
him. Yeah, I'll give it to you.
And then as I get near the door, I can then just dash to my sister's side.
I'll give it to you. That's fair. Next up, who else is doing stuff, guys? Let me know. The 2 pirate captains are heading towards the cage, like directly towards the cage.
Yep. Sounds like one of those will be one of my targets. The closest one.
Yeah, that would be Ruford. Ruford is the closest one to you. You and the prince.
How close am I at this point to the cage?
You're like there. You can get to it. Piece of cake.
Okay, in which case, and feel free to tell me no if this is entirely beyond the realms of possibility.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm thinking of doing at the minute is, because presumably the cage is locked
Yeah.
with some sort of like big ass padlock or something similar.
Yeah, why not?
So what my plan will be to effectively sort of pack the black powder from my pistol into the padlock and then light it to like blow the lock off.
I like it, but I'm gonna say it costs you 2 raises.
That's fine.
No, I'm gonna say it costs you 3 raises because you have to get the thing out, slide it in, put the thing on, and light it.
Yeah, that's fine.
Right, and your consequence would be that if you whilst you're doing it, you have to step over the glass to get there, and it will cut you a bit more. So that's another 2 wounds you have to worry about.
Okay.
And your consequence, Dan, is that if you fight him away, your consequence is that you will get to the door and get out. But if you don't spend 2 more points doing that, he will be next to you as you walk out the door. You won't have any distance to get away from him. So it'll be like literally in your face the whole time because he doesn't want to get away.
What am I
Actually, no,
rolling?
that doesn't make much of a consequence. I'll give it as a consequence.
Am I
For
rolling as
you-
a sword fight, or
Pardon me?
am I rolling it as a sword fight, or some sort of feat of athletics or something?
Whichever one you're comfortable with.
Okay.
For you, Ezzy, your consequence will also be the glass on the floor. You're having to fight your way through because it's broken and everywhere. So that's another 2 wounds for you to get to him. And what are you doing, Prince?
Yes, with my great fighting skills, I don't have. What can I do? I guess I can.
Dude, those are not D10s.
I guess I can back up Izzy. I guess I don't know what else I can do really.
Well, take charge. You can do anything you want. You don't have to worry about holding yourself back.
Remember, there's still the map for us to try and get.
Well, the map was supposed to lead me to my bride to be, so she's kind of
right there.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sure there'll be no reason for you to need that map ever again.
Well, I mean, priorities. Is there any, like, if I wanted to, like, smack someone with, like, an improvised weapon, is there, like, a skill for that, or?
Oh, no, it'd just be, like, any weapon skill you've got, or anything you think will make sense. So if you want, like, rope in deception, I'll give it to you. It's just, if it's a skill I don't think will apply, it just costs you 2 races to do it.
Okay, I guess I want to tackle one of these guys instead, because I want to sort of. I'd rather it became a fist fight than an actual sword fight or anything.
Okay, I'll give it to you.
Yeah.
That'll be Dalton. Do you want to tackle the same person as he's going after, or do you want to tackle Dalton Coombs?
The same person as he's going after, I think.
Gotcha. No problem. So we're both gonna double team him. Your consequence as well is the glass on the floor, so that's another 2 wounds for you.
Yeah.
Because you guys aren't really like engaged with other people, so I can't really give you any other consequence than that. Right, everyone make your rolls. And I'll start counting up while I make mine.
Okay, so I can use brawn, I hope. Can I use brawn?
I'll give you brawn.
Okay.
Just to let you know, Lloyd, I've used my luck to re-roll 2 of the 10s that I rolled.
Nice.
Oh, that's 3 for me.
I guess I could use a hero point to give Ezzy some extra dice.
Yeah, you can do that. Give her 3 dice.
Yeah.
Are you guys alright with the system so far? I mean,
Yeah.
I am trying to use as much of the rules as I physically can.
Oh shit, that's wrong.
Okay.
Holy shit, how many dice did you roll? Fucking hell.
Me?
Yeah.
I rolled 12 because I started at 8 and I got given 3 and then added one of my own.
That's nasty.
So I've got 6 successes.
That's pretty. And you're worried about fighting this guy. He's only got 8. You can take him.
He got 8 successes when I got 5. Like that's top notch.
He's meant to be nails.
I understand, but I was like, even if I did fight him 1-on-1,
2, 3,
that would be painful for me.
5.
And there's 3 named pirates.
We don't fuck around.
This is why the maths takes a while for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have to be like, okay, what numbers do I use?
Yeah.
What numbers do I not use?
I've got a spare 2 if you want it, Lloyd.
I'll take it. Yeah, give me that despair point because I'm gonna need it in a minute. Right, I just thought of a new opportunity for you, Ezzy. Ezzy, as this is happening, you can see that Lord and Lady Hayward seem to be seem to be like sitting on one of these like lawn chairs above everything, like on one of the like top balconies, and just watching the chaos with a smile on their face.
So,
Right, everybody ready?
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll start from the top. Who was 8 or higher? No, okay. I guess I will do what my approach is, which is beat the living shit out of Enno, or V as I know him by. He will once again spend 4 to do 4 wounds.
Okay, how much do I need to succeed in getting past him?
1.
So can I spend... I have 6, so can I spend 4 of the 5 remaining to counter those wounds or something?
Yep. So you're coming at him. He's like, and you're like blocking as hard as you can, and you're like, oh god, this guy's nails, and you're like walking around him gently. So that's him done. He drops down to 4. Anyone on 7? 6? 5?
Yep.
Right, what do you want to do?
Yeah, I'm tackling this guy and punching the crap out of him. I want it to be a fist fight rather than a sword fight.
Excellent.
No.
How many raises do you want to spend on that? Every raise you spend is 1 wound.
3.
That's fair. Three's good. What are you
Okay.
worried about?
Oh.
Like fucking get him on the, you like slam him onto the ground and you start beating the shit out of him like whilst he's on the ground. Like, get the hell off me! And he's trying to get his weapon, but he can't reach it. Anyone on that was 5, right? 4? Nope, that's
No.
him. He's not using those points. 3?
Yep.
Right, what do you want to do?
As I said, I'm going with the gunpowder in the lock plan.
Excellent. So you pack it in, you like light the fuse, and you look away, and it blows up. The sharpener gets on your body, take 2 wounds.
Yeah.
But the cage is open.
Yeah, I'll be, whenever I get the chance, I'll be attempting to basically like get our prince's betrothed out of the cage, and then once I've got her out of the cage, I'll be like, then I'll worry about getting her the fuck out of this building. Cage first, everything else later.
Cage first after the building. You reach to touch her hands feel so cold. She feels really like chilly, and she like looks up at you with a dazed eye, just like rolling her head like so, like desperately. Her body doesn't feel right. She's
If I have to throw her over my shoulder and carry her, I will do so.
fucking what right there, right over the shoulder. Yeah, like, yeah, let's go, love, let's go.
5
Come
minutes
on,
left.
suck it up. Excellent. And Ezio, that was 3, 2.
Yeah, Ezio as well. So her intention was to attack this guy,
Mhm.
so she's going to attack with knives,
Do it.
not
get in there.
fists. So 1 to hit, and then yeah, two to the damage.
Excellent. So you get in there, you shank her as hard as you can. 2 to the damage, 2 to you. 1, no one else?
I have 2 left, so my 1 was going to get out the door, and my 1 extra was going to be spent trying to do it, but...
No, you spent 1 to get out the door, but you've still got a 2-point consequence you need to get rid of. Which is that he'll be next to you. Like he's following you out the door.
Well, I have 1 point to spend, so I can partially counter that.
Alright, so you get away from him for a bit. You have like a bit of breathing room. But it won't be long before he catches up.
Okay. But I'm now
Alright,
back in
so-
the main room.
Yeah, but you're back in the main room. Alright, so everyone's back in the main room. The freebooters, now that the round is turning up, are starting to get up from the explosion and they're rocking around. And they're looking around going, what the hell is happening? And the Haywards are just like sitting there like sipping water and drink and just like smiling maniacally, just having a laugh while all this fucking crazy shit's going on. What do you guys want to do?
I want to get out of Dodge with the prince's betrothed over my shoulder.
I like it. Want to run?
Yep. My
Just so you
plan's
guys know, both Ezio, Angelo, and Leah are now awake in this combat. So they can assist anyone by giving them 3 dice, as long as you choose who to help you.
Well, I'm hoping perhaps I can get one of them to help me get our prince's betrothed to safety. Just helping, like pushing through the crowd, because obviously I'm a bit restricted because I'm sort of carrying.
They're like, get out of the way, get
Yeah.
out of the way.
I'll pass one to Roberto and also the prince. I've got two.
You've got 2 what? Hero points?
Fate, yeah, hero
Two
points.
fate points.
Okay.
Oh, cool. All right, Roberto, get a hero point. I mean, to spend, get 3 dice, and Roberto
Sweet.
get 3 dice. What about you two? What are you doing?
I'm going to try and render this this pirate captain unarmed by cutting his sword belt.
I love that. That's fucking hot. He's on the ground trying to get us up, and you're like, nope. It's like, ah! All right. He is going to try and basically get you guys off him. His whole purpose is to basically grab both of you and throw you apart. And that's his approach. Your dude, Marco, is going to try and catch up to you for his approach and cut you if you can get an opportunity to do it after he's done getting to you. And your consequences are... Alright, so, everyone roll your dice. I think everyone's done. I'll start the consequences after you roll.
Well, I want to knock this guy out before he can
Nice.
push us off.
Do we, for our allies, do I have to spend hero points to activate them, or are they just helping?
No, they're just helping. You just say, this person's helping me, and they'll help you out.
Well, if one of them is going to sort help my sister, can I
Mhm.
ask one of the pirate, whoever, Leia, pirate captain, one of them to go grab the map, and can the other one help me
Okay.
fight?
Yeah, sure. You can tell Leia to go grab the map. She'll be happy to do that.
I'm sure.
I'm sure she'll absolutely love to do that. That's a good idea. You have a choice. Leia or Enzo.
I want Leia to go get the map and Ezio to help me fight this guy.
Alright, cool. Let's do it. Leia runs off to get the map, and, like, Enzo comes up and he's like, oh, he looks like a big one, and pulls out his sword. He's like, let's go!
I'm trying to fight this guy so we can get the sister out and evacuate slowly. So I'm sort of fighting a withdrawing fight towards the exit.
Excellent. And the last guy who's not been touched, Coombs, is going to try and get to the map as well. So he'll be going after Leia and trying to push her off and get the map and leave. Right, make your rolls, boys. One for him.
Wow. That's a couple of
One for him.
rerolls.
One for him. Oh, and
2,
that was a turbo roll.
3.
If you want a terrible roll, Lloyd, look at my roll.
Wow, damn son.
If you want an amazing roll, look at my roll and roll 20.
What's your roll to me? Oh, what the fuck is this shit?
How many 10s did you get?
1, 2, 3, 4.
Right,
I rolled 3 10s in the initial roll,
God.
which to be honest was mainly thanks to the extra 3 dice I got from Ian. So cheers, Ian.
Pleasure.
I did re-roll one, hoping that, like, maybe if I could squeeze another 10 out of it, I could go up to 6 successes, but it didn't happen.
Yeah, rerolls. Keep forgetting. No, it didn't help.
Alright, guys, everybody counted up?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That was terrible.
Okay. Anyone on 8?
No.
Okay, so guess what? The guy's literally next to you now.
Okay.
Spends approach to approach you, puts into 7. Anyone on 7?
Nope.
Yep.
Alright, he shall spend his opportunity twice to do 2 wounds to you.
I have 3 raises this turn. So I will take a wound and block a wound.
How many wounds have you taken so far?
That will put me on 1 wound, so I have the added 6d6 dice.
Yeah, you'll be fine. That's one dramatic wound. There's a wound and there's a dramatic wound. 2 different things. All right. Anyone on 6?
No.
5.
Yep.
All right, boys, do actions.
After you, Prince.
I'm trying to beat this guy into unconsciousness.
No problem. Prince, just so you know, your consequence is that if you stay while you're staying fighting this guy, their freebooters around will end up surrounding you. So next turn, if you don't spend a consequence like get them to move back, you'll be mobbed by them.
Okay, so how much is that?
2.
2. Okay. Then I guess I do him 3 damage to try and knock him unconscious.
I like it. He cannot resist much of that because he has 4. So
Okay.
he'll resist 2 of that to stay up.
Okay.
So he'll take 1 damage from that. Anyone else on 5?
Me. And again, I'm just trying to get through the crowd with the woman over my shoulder and get out and basically get her back to the ship.
Only costs 1 to do that.
I shall spend it.
Any more 5s? 4s?
4. Yep.
Stop. I go first. Right, John. Roberto gets outside. The whole way is clear. You just need to run because like everyone's distracted. Just run to the ship and just fucking bolt the fuck out of here. But at the same time, Coons has been left free. And as he gets outside, he pulls a pistol. He points at your back and he shoots. And he will spend 2 to do 2 noble wounds to you and 1 dramatic wound.
I'll spend 2 to counter it.
No problem, but you still take the dramatic wound because you can't dodge bullets.
Yeah, that's absolutely fine. So I imagine I sort of stagger, but I keep running with the woman over my shoulder, sort of like, "Argh!"
And you've got not Enzo, you've got Angelo with you, like helping you out, like let's go.
If it gets just to mention, if it gets to the point where it looks like I'm like going to collapse or like fall down, the idea will be that I'll be sort of like passing her onto him like some sort of weird human relay race, and he can get her back to the boat.
I love that. That's fucking beautiful. Next up is number 3. Oh, sorry, number 4.
Yeah.
Ian.
Yeah.
It'll cost you
My
1
objective was to cut the belt holding his sword belt. So I've disarmed him.
I don't really think. I think that's the time he's gonna be like, you know what, I'm cool, mate. Guys, just let go. I don't fucking guys, seriously, like, I'm like a medium level villain. I'm living like a real villain. Come on. Bro, please, guys. Right, that was 4. Anyone on through? Oh, wait, hold on. What am I on? 1, 5. No, he's done today. Anyone on 3?
I've got 3 left. This guy's out for the count now, basically.
Yeah, he's out for the count. Your consequence is the same as the what's called same as
Yeah, the prince.
prince. If you don't spend 2 to keep them back, you'll be surrounded.
Can we spend 2 to start dragging him out?
Not to drag him out. That'll cost you 2 more over the 2 of stopping the consequence.
Okay, then so we're just fending off.
Yeah. Freebooters.
Freebooters. Fending off
So-
freebooters. Yes.
So you're fend of the freebooters, and you're surrounded, but you're like using your like weapons to like hold them back, and he's doing the same. And I kind of feels like, really, guys, it's okay.
Back off.
3.
Is this on the ground floor, by the way?
Yes.
Okay.
Unless you want it to be higher.
Nope.
Okay. 2.
I have
I
2
still-
left.
I've got 2 remaining as well.
Yeah, but unfortunately, you already spent all your points. Oh yeah, sorry. Your consequence was What was your consequence? I didn't give you one, did I? I'm gonna say another
It's
2
me.
wounds because you're running to the crowd. You're exhausted, and it's draining on you. If you spend 2 on the 2 wounds, you'll be fine.
Was that to me or to Dan?
That was to you.
Okay, yeah, I'll spend the 2 then.
All right, Dan, you've got Ezio next to you. You're fighting this guy off one by one. What do you want to do? Your consequence is also 2 damage again from just fighting him.
Even after defending from his initial attack.
Yep, you always take consequence for every action. It doesn't matter whether because
Okay.
everyone like acts accordingly, and there's consequence, and then there's also damage as well.
So I have one remaining point to do what I wanted to do, and then 1 point left that I can use to lessen the consequence by 1 damage.
Yep.
Okay. And I wanted to try and fight defensively while trying to get out of this room. So can I put the other point into defending that 2 damage as well?
You can put both of them in, but you'll be stuck in the room. Remember, you wanted to leave the hallway, remember?
So I defend 1 damage and I get across the room mostly or something. It's just riposting all of his attacks.
Yeah, you're just blocking him off, and he's like coming at you, and basically you're fighting a losing battle, but you're fighting it the way you want to fight, so you're getting the distance you want.
Okay, cool. And what does Ezio do to help that? Can he do any damage to him, or?
Well, no, it doesn't do any damage. He takes your dice, so whatever you dictate, you put it onto it. So while you're fighting him from the front, he's fighting from the back.
Sure.
So you're backing up, he's fighting when the guy's like blocking both your attacks with a scimitar.
Okay.
Okay, so that's everything for round 3. Dominique is safe, running to the building. I mean, you're pretty much done now, Roberto.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're just gonna bolt for the ship. It's just if everyone else can get on the ship before you do.
Yeah, all I'm gonna really be doing is I'm basically gonna get the ship ready so we can like GTFO as soon as they get here.
I love it.
How's Leia with the map?
Leia is fighting off this other pirate. Leia is fighting off, and she's grabbed the map, and she's just fucking bolting as fast as she can. Cause she's not gonna stay off. She doesn't give a damn. She just wants a piece of the map. And so she's bolting for a window. She's gonna leap out of it and try and like dive into the ocean or some shit. And she's gonna try and catch up with you guys later, because I think that's probably far better off for her to do. So Leia's fine. The map is fine. You've got Dominisa. All you now have to do is just escape.
Yep.
A room full of freebooters who are all trying to surround you, and a really tough fighter with a scimitar who wants to take you out.
Well, I'm finding the nearest window and bullying straight through it to get
I love it. That's fucking beautiful.
Nice.
You're in a fortress. It'll be beautiful. You just gotta make sure. The consequence is that it's going to fucking hurt.
Yeah, I'm prepared for
Go through the window.
that.
Well, I'll follow through the prince-shaped hole that he produced.
And along with you, Angelo's with you now. Ezio's with you. Ezio's with you. What are you gonna do?
I'm wondering with the chandelier having fallen and what are their light fittings like? Is there any way that I can set fire to this place, or set fire in front of the guy so he can't get to me while I leave?
If you reach up, grab like a curtain and pull it down, and then grab a candle and light it up, yeah, I'll give it to you. But it'll cost you 2 because it's slightly more complex.
Okay, and I want Ezio not to be trapped by it as well. He could help.
That's the consequence. If the consequence is that if you don't spend 2 on a consequence, Ezio is trapped behind.
Right, so I have to spend 2 to do it and 2 on the consequence.
Yeah.
I've got a spare point left. You can have it.
I would very much appreciate it. Thank you. What stats would I be using for candle work?
For this, let me double check. I would say, oh god, I gotta find the page. Whee! I would say in this case you're using your wits and whatever skill you think applies.
Athletics, maybe?
I'll give you athletics.
So I've got a thing called large. It says any physical risk I take that would benefit from my size, I can gain an extra dice. Does that apply?
I don't know how large helps you jump through a window better.
It helps me. Like I'm literally just bullying through it, like charging, like smashing through.
To be fair, man, if you're trying to smash through something, being big and buff certainly helps.
Fine, I'll give it to you this one time. Look at you guys like desperate for points. What are you worried about? You can take these guys. You can take them. Okay, so
8.
his whole idea. Ooh, this is interesting. His whole idea is to stop you from leaving. That's his as he sees you doing that, his idea is to stop you from leaving. So that's what he's going to go for.
Okay.
And the dudes next to you guys don't count because they're not like major NPCs. They're just brutes. You just take straight damage for them after everything's done. However, look at all those fucking ones I rolled.
1.
4, 5,
1.
6. That was pathetic. What's that T6 for me?
Because I'm injured. I have 1 dramatic wound, so it says plus D6.
No, it's plus 1 die. It's not D6.
Oh. I'll just add a 10 on the end.
Yeah.
6. Okay.
Well, I think in the... Well, it does say plus 1 D6 to all risks on this
Ignore
thing
that,
that I'm
it's
looking
dumb.
at. It's
It's dumb
probably
and wrong.
old.
It's dumb and wrong, like my soul. Alright, boys. Okay, so we've got all the dice systems together. We've got everyone together. We're almost at the end. We can do this.
Shit.
Everyone calculated?
Yeah.
Not yet.
Look at that. 5 raises and motherfucking god. Lucky piece of shit.
What the hell?
I think it's 4 for me.
Okay.
Right, everyone ready?
Yeah.
Ready?
Who is on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7? No one? Okay, he goes first. Hey, Enno, guess what?
More damage.
Yeah, he wants you to definitely go down. He's spending all 7 on you.
Right. I have 4 and I need 2 to succeed and 2 for Ezio not to be trapped. So
Yeah.
7 damage.
Can you take it?
Without being unconscious, yes, I believe so.
Then
Wow.
you are fine. Right. Anyone on 6?
Yeah.
Oh, go for it.
So yeah, I'm literally just like tackling my way out of this.
Excellent. Your consequence, as I said before,
Mhm.
is that once you barrel through the door, the fall all the way down is going to fucking hurt. Take 5 wounds.
Okay. So I can actually lower that by 5, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I haven't taken any damage. I'll lower it by 4, so I have at least 1 point left,
Yeah, you got 1
just in
point.
case I need it. Yep.
Right, that was 6, 5, 4.
I have 4. 2,
Right, go for roll.
2 to attempt to burn the place down and 2 to attempt that Ezio isn't a casualty.
Go for it. Now, it costs 2 to burn the place down.
Yep.
But, no, 2 only cuts out a fire. It will cost you 3 to burn the place down.
Well, without Ezio not surviving, I don't have any more to spend. So can I burn the local area and delay this guy getting to me?
I can give you that.
So I set a localized fire and help Ezio over or
Should I
around
use
it.
Should I use it? Oh. What? No, I don't want to be mean. No.
You've already given me 7 wounds this turn that I haven't been able to block at all. But
Do you have
sure,
any
don't be
hero
mean.
points left?
Pardon?
Do you have any hero points left?
I have 1.
Oh, you're fine. I'm not gonna use it.
You can make me spend it. I don't mind.
Are you sure? Okay.
Yeah, sure. In fact, I had a spare dice you could have bought.
What
2
is
spare dice.
what is that?
I spend a point of despair to activate his special ability. As you leap over him, he reaches out and he grabs one of you and pulls you back. You have a choice. You can either be pulled back or Ezio can be pulled back.
And what would a hero point get me in this point?
Nothing.
Oh. Okay.
Is
So
it-
effectively, either I die or he dies.
Well, I didn't say die, because you still spend the 2 consequences to get him taken away, so he won't die this scene.
So what is a despair and a danger point the same
Yeah.
thing?
Yeah, the same thing. Danger points. I can use danger points to activate villain special abilities. And his is that he's a grappling brawler. He uses a scimitar. He grabs them up and he cuts them up to pieces. If someone tries to leave him, he can reach out, grab them, and pull them back again.
Okay, I'm gonna. Yeah, I don't think my ability will count towards this guy because I'm not there anymore.
I've already taken 2 wounds and well on the way to taking another one. So I don't think I'd survive.
I'm gonna let Ezio die.
What?
I mean,
I've paid 2
captured.
points to have Ezio get over the fire, but he's being grabbed at the same time. So
Yep. It's up to you. What do you think is more important, your own life or his?
I think Ennio would probably think his own life is more important.
No, are you kidding? Enno would say totally save yourself. He loves you.
He's all about being an arrogant hothead.
That's not Enno. I mean, Ezio would be like, save yourself.
Right. Okay. Well, then I will look into the eyes of a dying man that for once, well, I haven't killed personally, and I go, your sacrifice will be remembered.
So he reaches out. You see him almost reach for you, but he misses your grasp, and Ezio gets in the way, and he's grabbed by Ezio. Clarkson grabs Ezio, and he pulls him back through the fire. And that's all you can see before the flames come up and block your view. But the flames block your view. He can no longer get to you. You can get away.
Okay.
And who's next? That was 3, right? That was 4. 3?
Yeah, I'm on 3.
All right. You want to bust through the window?
Just following
Yep.
after.
Will cost you 1 wound and only one. Will cost you one raise and only 4 wounds. I hope.
Okay, I shall soak 2 then and just take the 2 as I land on top of the prince.
As you both like crash amongst each other, slowly rolling down the ground. But I think that's enough for everyone to get away, right?
Hopefully.
Yeah.
To the ship.
The place on fire. The freebooters are like fucking like panicking, trying to figure out what's going on. Mr. and Mrs. Hayward are just having a laugh with their lives, just drinking away quietly. Leah's got the map, the part of the map you wanted. You've got the thing. Okay, so we're gonna cut to you guys rushing towards the ship.
Okay.
So first person to get there is Roberto. Roberto, you get to the ship. What do you do?
I'm like, all hands, make ready to cast off. Move, you swabs!
What? We're sleeping. Okay, fine. like pulling on sails, pulling on up, everything else. Next arriving is Leah because she was like, "Fuck you guys, I'm out." She like runs on up and like pulls herself over the part of the map. She pulls it through. Angelo follows right behind her, like helping her up the stairs, trying not to look at her skirt because he's a dirty slash. And he puts himself up there. He gets on top. followed closely by both the prince and goddamn names, Ezio, as they both pull themselves in, and finally making their way up by themselves, alone, with no one there to help, is Enno.
I don't know. I look Roberto in the face, presumably he's like at the top of the gang ramp or something, waiting for me, and I just go, leave, and then turn away and walk, probably clutching my side or something after being heavily scimitarred.
You heard the man. Full sails. Pull in the anchor.
Alright, because you guys had laid a trap with the explosion and everything else, you don't have to worry about being followed or anything else like that. You turn your boat around and you just sail out of Silver Pass with no problem whatsoever. You give a good distance of maybe half a night's travel when the sun finally comes up, when you guys finally relax and slowly catch your breaths again.
I'm probably heavily bandaged. And
Right, the surgeon, the ship has bandaged you up, so you're alright.
Prince Alexei, I've put your betrothed in my own cabin. She'll not be disturbed there, but that's where she is if you wish to check on her.
Very well. But I believe Enno has more than earned first visiting rights. And Alexei sort of pats Enno on the shoulder.
I give him a weak smile as I start to bleed through my new shirt.
No one thinks of the hidden cost, man.
And then I push the door gently open.
She's lying there. She's not moving. She's just cuddled up in blankets.
I sort of whisper, "Are you okay?"
She turns towards you, her eyes open. They're fully, absolutely black. And she looks at you, and she goes, He will destroy us all. He... And then she just sort of leans backwards, passing out. You see her skin has turned a really horrible pale, like grey. And her body is still constantly shivering and she can't stop sweating. Like she's been taken by some horrible fever.
There is a moment. I presume I've seen her do this before, roughly in like the vision kind of thing, in our childhood at some point.
Mm-hmm.
But she obviously doesn't look well, so I don't know if the doctor has seen to her or not.
He hasn't yet, no, because I was too busy bandaging you up because you were
Okay, I shout for the surgeon, doctor, whoever.
He comes on in, sort of looking over her, and he's like, I don't know what this is. It's some weird. It's like she has a fever, but she doesn't. I can't tell. Did something happen to her? Has she been poisoned or something? Maybe poison? Something running through her veins? That's weird. He looks absolutely confused.
Does any at this point I bust the door open waiting for the surgeon, and I don't know, I shove other people in. Saying to my compatriots, anyone have any idea about poison? She doesn't look well. I think she's been drugged.
Let me have a look.
You're an assassin, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I don't think I need to tell you this. This poison is the Caladonna poison that's running through a course of her veins. It is a very, very rare poison that's taken by people when you want to keep them subjugated and weakened. Those are one of the few ones that you can't find a cure for anywhere. It's one of those 2-part poisons. You take one now, it keeps your body worked down. You take the antidote, and then your body sort of slowly comes back to itself. But usually, finding the antidote for one of these things can take months. If you don't know where the antidote is or anyone who has it, your bones.
Hmm.
And you
We might
reckon
have to
she
go
might
back.
have maybe from the way she looks, 4 days to live.
Yep, I shall impart that information. She's in a bad situation. There's an antidote, but from my estimation, she has about 4 days. The antidote is presumably held by a previous captor.
Lloyd, given my sort of knowledge of the sea and the sort of local area, etc., islands, the like, would I know of anywhere else we could potentially acquire some of this antidote?
Yes, there is one place that is known, 100% guaranteed to get you the antidote. That is within just below 4 days travel, not far from here, according to the rumors.
I'm sensing a but in this sentence.
There is no buts. It's always going to have been there, and you know it very well because you have the map to it.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah.
It's La Libertalia.
I'll be sort of musing and I'll say, I do remember hearing some old sailors' tales talking about this very poison. Apparently, the cure is most often found for a certainty in La Liberteria.
Well, then I suggest we open this map and try and make sense of it.
You pull
we've got
open
it.
the map and you stretch it all the way through, and it's got a map. It's like a map drawn of these weird pike isles that are like resting, maybe like 3 days travel away from where you are at the moment. But it doesn't give any details exactly what or where you need to go on that map. However, as you unroll it, another piece of paper falls out, and as it lands on the ground, there's writing on it, and the writing says, "See you soon, Roberto." And on that note, we're going to end the game right there.
Sweet. Thank you very much.
So, thank you very much for that game. I'm so tired. Fucking hell. I hope that wasn't too painful for those of you who happen to have watched that. And I'm going to end the broadcast